please.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get killed by the guy. Yeah, that guy. The fuck
No! Piss off!
Ah! Yeah. The other one was going for the evolutions, and
Yeah.
then there was the magnet guy. So I got a fucked up there because I needed to jump.
Oh, Season 4 Diamond Tournament winner. Oh yeah, shit. Everyone's unranked now. That's fine.
As you sound on the telephone. Oh my god, there's a lot of people who want to kill me.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck, mate.
Oh shit! I thought it's gonna like bounce back immediate, but no, it didn't.
Plunger?
Why is there so much
Can I do it
stuff
for
that
you?
wants to kill me?
Yep,
If I wouldn't miss.
that's fine. Ah, you fuck's sake. Oh, it was beautiful as well.
Look at what I had a baby brother, and he was perfect in every way.
Yeah. Hello, Warp.
Not gonna say GG. Fucking forfeit, boys.
What the dude, the last guy, do you see that? That is a champion. Season 3 champion tournament winner. Or
Yeah.
above.
Oh no.
That's like...
This is the bad thing about like starting to play immediately. Although, even
we're
if we
gonna
lose
get
on
ranked.
these,
Yeah, it's like, these guys are gonna be fucking champions.
Yeah.
yeah, no, but for us, like it's gonna throw us like somewhere kind of
Lower
hard. You
now.
throw.
Yeah, but we're gonna
No, if you
smack
throw us like
people
higher.
with bronze.
Oh yeah, true.
No, we're not gonna get bronze. So I never get bronze. So I'm sad about.
I mean, we can smurf the shit out of 10 games and then slowly climb from bronze. We can. It's the start of the season. We might as well. But it's gonna be a boring 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a boring 10 minutes.
Boring
hour.
hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I had
Smith.
enough fire break. I did. I just accidentally
Aw.
hid part of it. Shit. Oh well. So I need to make a centrifuge.
Oh, plunger. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, good plunger.
Fucking saved
Oh.
it.
Like right now when you said it out loud, if you would have saved the plunger, like yeah, I'm gonna use the better times. Like no, I'm gonna use now, boy.
Yeah, I used it. Oh, can I carry it into the goal? No, I can't. It's... Fuck.
No.
me.
Fucking. I don't know if I even would have managed to get there, but someone booted me.
No. I don't like people that say what to save on these. Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? It's beyond all of us.
Have somebody actually tried to save it?
Go
Have a magical powers.
Destruction boy. Oh, fucks. Ha! Fucked it.
Sorry.
Yeah, fuck Dave's
It's
boy.
fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for
Fucking.
sake.
That was a really nicely timed.
Hmm.
Dooba-dooba-dooba-doo.
Oh, piss off.
Fucked it up.
That's not very nice.
That guy didn't.
Ah.
Go Iron Rose.
Yeah.
And warp, preferably.
I was reporting you fucking guy.
Oh, sorry, Davies boy. That was an honest mistake.
Fuck.
Oh,
I actually pressed the fucking T.
No, like,
just.
Oh.
just.
Oh, give me something nice. Oh, fucking spikes.
Oh, spikes as well. Go for a warp. Though, yeah.
Although I'm gonna fucking miss. Ooh.
Oh, they froze it off again. Nice, nice yeet there. Oh, I have another set of spikes.
Alright.
Hello. No, no.
no.
Nah,
No.
wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Spikes.
Grab it.
Fucking. No.
Oh, stuck.
Did you?
Yeah, he got stuck.
Yep.
Oh, it's gonna go.
No.
Fucking.
Nice, Iron Rose.
I mean, I couldn't have done anything.
Oh no, yeah. Oh, it wasn't you. Ah, I
No,
thought you smacked
no.
it in when you missed. You went like, might as well use the power.
No, no.
Then I retract my statement. That actually wasn't nice, Iron Rose. Ooh,
Fuck.
shaka smooth. Oh, fuck's sake. Ah, it was fucking red just for a second. I've got the plunger.
Go, go, go.
Go warp. Just getting close. That's fine. Oh, you fucking hell. Get back here. Oh, shit. Mm. Oh my
No,
god.
they fucking bumped.
The chaos.
I'll be back in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, that guy has.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Got an anime. They all have.
Ooh, nice. And they even help. How lovely.
Wait. How did I get... What? Oh, okay.
Bonk.
Oh, they helped.
Yeah.
Nice. How the fuck did I get an assist?
Should we move down after this one if the stream is gonna... If people are gonna watch the stream here?
Yeah. Not a bad
Or we can
shout.
move in
Yeah.
by side if you want, but yeah.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna move in by side then.
Thank you. Have fun.
Yes.
Go, and Rose. And warp. Okay. Oh, nice.
No.
Come on.
Puncher.
Come on. Oh, use it. Go in and use it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get it close. No!
Still have a chance.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Get it close. Get it close.
Gonna try and boost it. Ain't gonna fucking do it. Warp
Here it
is
comes.
Gonna freeze it now. No! Why were you not in the goal?
You should have waited there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no!
No. Fucking hell.
Oh,
Damn,
That's fine.
man.
Yeah.
You fucked it up.
I know.
but Warp has to carry you now as well.
Yeah.
Warp, I'm sorry for your back. Eventually, me and
Baby.
Rose are gonna get good.
However, that day will not be today.
But tonight is not that day. Today we fight.
I am back.
Hi, back. I'm
Bye,
back.
bye.
I'm back.
I hate all of you.
Are you saying that you're full of hatred?
I hate you too.
Hi, Ian, I love you.
Hello, Yin.
Love you, Cactus. So, I have a story.
Okay.
Just the
Story?
just the one.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, there was a lowly old yin who decided that being social was a good thing to be. And for some reason, I just got off a phone call today saying that I shouldn't ask people's contact details after and then suddenly stop being sociable. Because they thought they had upset me. And this was quite weird because the reason I was being unsociable was because I had fucking food poisoning. And for some reason that's caused enough for a whole group of staff to be like, well, it means something has gone terribly, terribly wrong because he's unsociable. No, I have food poisoning on that day.
Aaron, you can.
Not everything.
Well, at least it shows they're concerned for you.
Oh,
They're concerned, but it's sort of in a roundabout way of that, it's unprofessional to be unsociable. Well, food poisoning. So I'm still trying to figure out what kind of conversation I just had, but
they have arrived.
they have arrived pretty much. It felt disciplinary at the same time as well.
What? The diarrhea? This is disciplinary.
Disciplinary diarrhea.
But of course.
The diarrhea just comes out waving pages of like some handbook.
Well, you were waving pages, whopping your bum.
Yeah.
Oh, dicks and porridge. Get back here. Get back. Why they fucking smack? What the fuck? God damn it!
What is going on?
You remember
Neck
when
it like it's your
was
daddy.
commenting on our gameplay?
Dog, smack it like it's your daddy.
I will. As soon as it becomes my dad. Fuck's sake!
No. Fucking hell.
Fuck.
I had eyes as well.
You had ISIS.
Eyes as well.
My eyes.
Oh, were you a little bit too far away for it?
I
Yeah.
was going straight for the goal. I would have gone in anyway. Hello, daddy. Smack.
Fuck, you stole my boot. Oh, my boot.
Yeah. They keep stealing my boost as well. Boink.
Boink.
Okay.
Maybe not the best thing I've done, but
Moist. Just too hard.
Moist.
Yeah, I think after that conversation, I need a drink.
No.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, plunger. Oh, is it going in?
No,
it's not.
that's
no,
not.
my favorite
Well,
corner.
yes, it is.
No. She uncalled it.
Crossbow it in. Oh,
That's my favorite corner.
No, but who did it?
You plunged it, and then
Oh, that guy.
the other guy just came back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Stay. What?
Here we go.
Yeah, but we all did.
So do you only have a set ability?
It's in goal. Oh,
I said warp. But should have.
Yeah, like when it's time like goes to 0, you don't call it out at that point because I've done something.
Warp is the guy that goes. I'm the one.
I can like stay if it's like if you say that when we're like
Yeah, no,
we
but
s-
generally,
Yeah,
when we
don't
are
say
like
anything, when
2.
we-
Okay, stay. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I know the basic commands already. I'm not that old.
So do you only have set abilities each round, or does it change?
They change. They reset. There's like 10-ish
Okay.
you can get, and
10?
it's randomized.
Okay.
But you can get all of them or just one thing. It's fully randomized.
Oh, so it randomizes every time you use it during the match as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh damn. Oh damn. Okay.
I don't know if that was a good use for the grappling hook.
Fucking do something. No. Fucking standing next to the goal waiting.
Like I realized at that point that I could have either do a U-turn or I can try to back out and try to do something.
It's your right parallel to the ball.
But yeah,
Can't do anything. Go warp. Okay.
epic save. You need those points, man.
Yeah, understandable. Ooh, spikes. Oh, you fucking took the boost. Oh, you. Fuck off.
Plunger.
Fuck off. Go in.
Stay in.
Stay in. Use it. Use it. You the
No!
No.
That was
Yep.
beautiful. Oh, okay. That was beautiful, though.
Ah, you were too far away.
Yeah, I was way far.
Yeah. Looked like you could have been closer, but yeah, that was definitely too far.
Bye. Oh, it's right there.
Plunger.
Go.
Was that ability just the teleport?
Yeah, it switches you with
Someone.
another player. Yeah, with a specific player, but aiming is kind of fucked, randomized. Oh, calculations as well. Ooh, can I calculate it? Yes, I can.
Nice. I love that goal explosion.
The star. I got
Yeah.
it like yesterday.
The lovely little star.
It is fantastic.
You're a special boy.
Hello, Mark.
Nice.
What is happening? Whoop.
You
of
guys were
bubbles.
kind of just going for a lot of passes and making it onto the side. It was pretty cool, actually, from the spectator side.
Go on, jump. Nice!
Yeah!
Nice.
Okay, that was my spikes of the week. So, thank you.
Got it once, never again.
Oh, you
No,
didn't
like I
lose.
usually when I get spikes, I'm either stuck or I fuck up the jumps or something.
Oh, they stop you. Like, that's the most common one, but that's not up to you.
Yeah.
The getting stuck is, but we don't talk about it. Come
Piece of I
on.
didn't.
Ah,
Oh. Yeah.
GG.
GG.
Oh, that guy is already fucking ranked. Platinum too. Okay. Oh,
Nice.
Like if you start playing these immediately when the whole season started, then yeah.
Yeah.
Because the hardest
Platinum
part
twos.
of this
which is
leaving you.
sub-ideal. Fly, wetsuit, and a rocker phase. Okay.
Noise.
And here we can see me trying to steal it off you.
Yeah. And oh, you were very close.
Yeah, I was.
If you didn't turn like a madman after landing, I might have gone there in time.
Bye. Going to the moon.
Get fucked. Oh, he had spikes. Lol. Oh, he still has spikes. Nice. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah. Nice. Hello. Hello. Oh, damn. Damn. Oh, bye, guys.
Maybe up. Fuck.
It just stopped on you. It didn't bounce. It just stopped on you. Oh,
Fuck. That was a close.
What a lovely game of soccer.
that guy went straight for destruction. What a cock. Go, boys.
No.
Okay, he fucked it. Hello. Is that over? Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, but that's...
No, don't fucking press.
Yeet. They were taking it to school, but then they got yeeted.
Okay.
How did I assist that?
Don't let me fucking steal the goal. I'm fine, I guess.
Wait, did you try to assist with a freeze there?
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, I'm trying to like bump it in,
No.
but the guy.
No, I got an assist of the.
I'm staying.
You're staying, okay.
Nice.
Beautiful center.
Nice.
Neat boost. Fuck everything. Ooh.
Net zero.
I think one of them has the plunger.
No, I teleported him there.
Ah.
He might have a plunger.
He has. Oh. I have the plunger. Ah, missed.
Ooh,
Oh, no, I
fucking
didn't.
Nice.
Nice.
It was a nice time
Yes,
because he wasn't
you
like too
missed.
higher. Because you know there's the bumping thing.
I turned the wrong way. I went right.
Oh.
And that guy was going for the destruction. I am staying.
Big boost.
Fuck off.
No, wrong way. Fuck.
That's fine.
What do you mean wrong way?
I flipped
Yeah,
myself the
probably
wrong way.
Oh, you dodged the ball. Nice. Get fucked.
I'm a spiky
Wait,
boy.
did you punch and then like grab it slightly and then turn the what? How does that punch work?
There was two guys punching it. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Me assisting it, not at all. Like, look at me.
Yeah, what the
Oh,
fuck?
Oh, it was you that actually bounced me off from there.
Does the punch go through the wall?
The punch Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Like, if
can't
you
punch
start-
behind the wall, but it will go through if you start the punch.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got like a split second.
Oh
Yeah,
my god,
so if you
Rocco
go
is going
just
for
around the corner.
destructions
Okay.
full on. Fucking missed. Oh.
No.
Ah, that was. Oh.
That.
That was purely the.
Oh, that looked like the German goal in 2008.
Weird angle
Oh,
when he
yeah,
started
that
using
one.
it.
Iron knows exactly what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Who the fuck is a goal? Nobody apparently.
Yeah, if
No,
you're
we
on the
agree with
side,
you
you
now.
have to prepare that iron isn't actually
Yeah.
gonna be.
This is so not. Oh, that was so nice. If
No,
that
the
got in.
Nice. Oh.
No, fuck, I missed.
Oh, calculations. Oh, poo. What
Yes.
the fuck? What the
That
fuck
was
did
a
that bounce
fast one.
that way? Off a curve, it bounced straight back.
As Marcus is driving towards the goal, turns around. Oh shit!
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. The fucking magnet stopped him from going in.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, man.
Like, it's so many times when iron has to.
No!
No.
I had spikes as well!
What's with the tornado?
It's
It
a tornado.
fucks up.
Does it
Just
suck
throws
shit in?
everything. No,
Oh.
it just casually throws everything everywhere.
Oh,
Except
including people.
friendlies.
Oh,
No!
Ah. Fuck. Okay, it's not in the goal anymore, but. Oh, fuck. He has
you just got.
spikes.
You look. You've got 20
Oh,
seconds
I
just to
tapped
keep
him.
it out. You just got 20 seconds to keep it out. That's it.
Yeah, 20 seconds is a lifetime! Fuck it.
You.
That's weak.
Yeah, nothing, man. That's.
You poor people. You sound like you're
Like,
having
5
a
seconds
struggle.
is fine, but like anything over, it's like, nope,
It
nope,
is
nope.
5 simultaneous heart attacks between the 3 of us.
Yes. It's the most fun.
Yes.
I'm staying.
It's a spectator sport. Cactus is always like this. This is why I've stopped watching football all years ago. Because it's just like a fucking tease every single time.
Oof,
Oh,
not a
that's in.
tease.
Oh, it's not. Nice.
Nice, that's perfect. Like, just fucking drag it down.
Did someone use the plunger?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, yeah, I pulled it down to the ground with the plunger.
Like, that was perfect.
Yeah! No,
clear
sit
it.
down!
It's such a good game, man.
Actors, what's going on, bruv? What is going on?
I am
Breakfast.
currently making a chemical reactor.
Hi, currently making.
On what?
Minecraft.
Oh, which one?
You are
Chemical
proud.
reactor for what?
Chemical
It is
reactor.
a machine called chemical reactor.
It's for making chemical reactions.
Yeah,
It's a reaction chamber.
It makes chemicals. Okay?
I'm okay.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
and yes, all of this tech, and I am in fact still using a sword.
Now you can go.
Apparently, with my chemical reactor, I can make rubber and fertilized earth. So,
Oh, the
Oh,
fucking packet lost.
Because a single chemical
No, no,
reactor
no,
can do
no, no.
everything.
Oh my god, the server is shitting itself everywhere.
Oh well,
I
yes.
oh, what the shit is this?
This is so good.
Oh,
I'm gonna try to do calculations too, so don't shout at me too much. If I fucking can.
What have you done? What is going on?
2 tornadoes at the same time and also packet loss. So I see the everyone is
Connection?
very
Like this is fucking horrible.
Sounds like you are having an absolutely great time.
Open the stream, because you want to see this. This is
No! No!
Sometimes when the
Iris, for fuck's sake, man! Stop shooting at the wrong.
I hit it when I had spikes on! I hit it when I had spikes on!
It's like they're a poltergeist in the arena. What the shit?
Good lord.
Flarg looks like he's driving like an idiot.
But I'm also gonna score. For fuck's sake!
I'm not even like I'm going basically going more sideways than
All
onwards.
losing their
Yeah, it's
minds.
amazing. Yes! Oh,
What the fuck happened?
Yes! Yes!
Yeah!
Normalize the thing.
Yeah, let's see what actually happened.
One guy left and now it's fine.
Yes, I do need to get that chemical reaction farm going. The biggest problem I've actually got is I need to find the sticky weed. I've got loads of seed packets, but I can't read what they are, so I need to make the scanning machine. Which I believe requires me to make diodes and crap like that, which is frustrating.
Yeah, for me, the ping is over 200. Like, I'm seeing myself.
80.
Oh,
I'm seeing your ping as
Dude,
one.
no, that ping was way more than 200. Fucking
yeah,
hell.
that was
Yeah.
packed. Yeah.
It's not ping, it's packet loss.
Packet
Yeah, there
loss,
was well,
that's-
it was both because that was
Yeah.
horrible. Like last time we had the packet loss match, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Like it was
Like, that made
okay.
me seasick, and I think I have pretty good sea legs.
Come on.
Oh
again.
no, look at that ping.
Now it's fixed, unfortunately.
No, it was
Oof.
300 for them.
Fine.
Yeah,
no.
but
Oh, no, it's back now. Okay, it's
that
back.
Stabilizes.
Stabilizers. Yes, you
Stabilizers.
stab it.
Plunger.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah, that was so good.
Right,
Oh.
so I
Fine,
need to
Rose,
get
use it now.
place this chemical reactor somewhere.
Fuck's sake. Ow.
Lol.
That was nice.
Let me boost.
That.
We're done. Jesus
I'm
Christ, we're done.
Would you
Goodbye.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, just leave it. Just leave it. I have fucking fucking tornado, man.
Goddamn penises.
Fuck! It didn't activate the spikes.
Oh,
I was trying to catch it like in
you
midair.
already used the spikes today. Well, fuck off. No spikes for you.
I'm activating them in advance, and then I'm gonna get destroyed.
let
so
him
I'm
have
fine.
his spikes.
I don't have to worry about
Oh.
spikes anymore.
Bye, Iron.
I got punted off into New Year.
Oh,
Team Rocket is blasting off again.
basically. There is a power that does that. Oh, I have the plunger now.
It's a much more efficient way to make rubber instance and make a chemical reactor. So I make the molten rubber. Oh god! So I make the molten rubber, and then I have to put it into a fluid
I think I
solidifier.
saved that.
I should probably make the fluid solidifier next. Okay.
That possibly was your save.
Okay. Fluid solidifier.
We call that a spinning bath. Or a coagulation bath.
Well, this is for
Making fibre.
No, so this is for casting stuff.
Oh.
So so it's called a fluid solidifier.
Yeah,
Like it's at this point in time, it's for solidifying rubber after you've made the sort of chemical compound that is molten rubber.
Yeah, so then you're polymerizing it, so that's your coagulation setup.
Yeah, but you can also use it for like solidifying
Oh, that's fucking
metals.
bad stuff.
Because of course, once again, one machine can do everything.
Of course, that's how it's worked.
Although in fairness, like I would currently be using it for one machine does everything, but
Yeah, I don't
as
know
you
if
get
it
better,
wasn't
you'll have
actually
like
going in for
one
that
fluid
or not.
solidifier that's dedicated to nothing
It
but
was
rubber.
a bit, but the guy was
Yeah.
crossbowing
I
it
see.
in anyway.
Yeah.
Yes,
But, like, from
and I
the
need
plunger,
more
I was trying to-
steel, and unfortunately, my steel
Freeze it
production
there.
has stopped because I've run out of coal coke.
Freezer there.
Yeah.
Always on the edge of running out of everything.
Like, definitely wasn't the best freeze.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, but it's fine.
So I need to go mine some more coal so I can make some more coke.
I'm in the goal.
I should put this miner next to the coal, really, but I need a way to power it.
I have spikes if a chance arises.
Solar panel.
No, fucking.
No, it's because it's electrically powered. I need to. The only electrical power generation I currently have is the steam turbine. So I'd have to.
Got no photovoltaics at all.
At all, yeah.
No, fuck.
Yes.
Although,
Oh, dear.
hilariously, I could get a photovoltaic boiler. So it's not a photovoltaic. So it's not a photovoltaic boiler. It'd just be a solar boiler.
It's just a solar boiler. Yeah, so that's.
So I could use the solar boiler to power the steam turbine to power the miner.
That's.
But then I'd have the problem of I'd have to feed water into this boiler. So I'd also then have to build a water collection system.
Spikes.
Like, it just, like, doing it with steam would be awful. Like, ideally I'd have an internal combustion engine and just power it straight
Yeah.
off that.
I'm gonna say this just to piss off an engineer, but just to make the boiler a closed system. And there you go. You've got, you've got a boiler that just keeps going. You've got a turbine that just keeps going.
So somebody.
What happened?
So,
Oh,
like
he's
Joe,
followed with the spikes.
yeah.
And then he
But he was going
that's
too
gotta
fast.
hurt.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the way the miner works is it digs a single line down, but then in every direction for, I think it's... So it's a 17 by 17 block with this at the centre. So in every direction for 8 blocks, it automatically mines ore blocks and leaves other blocks alone. So you end up with like a hole that goes down to bedrock, but you've mined everything in that chunk in essence.
Yeah.
no time to react, but it's fine. Because like if you could have put a blah, blah, blah. If you would have used the spikes a little bit earlier, fuck.
I also need more aluminium.
Then yeah, you could have actually.
More of everything.
I suspect aluminium is a pain in this mod as well.
Aluminium is a fucking nightmare.
Yes, I know.
Is there a better way to find it instead of gravel?
Aluminium?
No.
Aluminium gravel.
Oh, right, the aluminium gravel. Yes, no. So my the current easiest method for me to acquire aluminium is to mine Fuller's Earth, and then
Jump on Rose.
crush the Fuller's Earth, and then wash the Fuller's Earth, and the product that you get from washing it is tiny piles of aluminium. You need 9 tiny piles to make 1 ingot. And actually, I can't even make aluminium ingots because I need the electric blast furnace.
That sounds like the buyer process. Slightly.
There's
God.
currently a really big discussion that has massively divided the Gregtech community about making the aluminium manufacturing process harder by
by going Halherut or something like that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, yeah. So they're basically removing the concept of aluminium dust and instead having alumina dust. So you've always got aluminium oxide dust rather than aluminium dust, because it then forces you to deal with the oxide. Which is just, like, at the moment, I don't need a lot of aluminium. I need enough to be able to do a couple of things. But the next level, everything is made with aluminium. So aluminium becomes, like, such a pain in the ass to get.
So I was right then, you're switching from the buyer process to the Halherut process. Because the Halherut process works with alumina, whereas the buyer process works with bauxite.
Well, currently, there's no such thing as aluminium oxide.
Shock.
Like in this mod, as it currently stands.
Yeah.
So you do things to get your aluminium which you then have to use an EBF for.
Why exactly do they want to make it harder?
Because
Only people who are masochists play this game mode.
yeah. Well, the problem is that it's been very controversial because at this current level that I'm at, it's already very tedious.
Yeah.
Because one of the big problems with this level I'm currently at is you have no automation. You are literally creating your first automations, and that is so tedious.
That works.
I guess that works.
You're not wrong, Elements of Love. Like, everyone who plays Gregtech is 100% a masochist. Like, they do all hate themselves. Yeah, including myself. You know, I play this because it's hard, and I enjoy the challenge.
But he's also a fucking nerd.
That's not why I play it. I don't play this because I'm a nerd.
Oh fuck! He also gets
But it
spiked.
helps that you're a nerd and you're also surrounded by fucking nerds.
Fucked it.
No!
What
the fuck?
Second set of spikes. Like that definitely felt like
Absolute.
you see these guys like. It felt like catch.
Yeah.
But yeah, the nice thing about Auto Miner in this Elements of Love is that there is no such thing as non-Gregtech ores in this, except for Emerald, because Emerald is a broken ore. Every other ore is being Gregified, so every ore in this mod pack is guaranteed to work with the miner. Including things like the really fancy ores that you get from other mod packs.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
Got calculations.
No.
Nice.
They're also
Almost
hilariously
like
difficult to
fucking
get.
boosted the guy that's going into the goal. Like
Nope.
fuck.
What the fuck?
I turned the wrong way.
I really need a lumber axe, which is why I need the aluminium.
Relax.
Hmm?
Who the fuck is switched with me? The guy that booted out.
You've already got iron. Why the hell? Okay.
So I need a lumber axe. So I need aluminium to make the lumber axe, because to make the lumber axe I need a tool station. The upgraded tool station. And the upgraded
it
tool
needs an
station
aluminium.
needs the aluminium to make alumina, which is an obsidian aluminium steel mix.
That's such a fucking... I'm already turned off from this mod.
And in response to you, Elements of Love, I don't think I will ever reach the iridium era.
So what you're gonna need electrolytes at that point with argon atmospheres and all kinds of stuff at that. Just
direction.
the logistics for that, Jesus fucking
Well,
Christ.
you talk about the logistics, but the bit that's hilarious about it. So let's have a look. Iridium.
This is the first time I got boost right now.
So
Right.
iridium ingot. So to get the iridium ingot, I have to use a blast furnace. Okay, to get iridium.
Yes.
So to get iridium dust, how do I get iridium dust? So I can get iridium dust from irosite dust, which contains more fucking letters than you've ever seen.
Might have gotten a little bamboozled by the fucking.
Where do I get
teleporting.
this dust from? Well, I get it from the purified, which gets from the crushed, which gets from the ore. Okay, where can I mine this ore? That is the money question.
Site ore.
Irosite ore. Irosite. Ooh.
It's not. There's an extra R. There you go.
Everybody there.
Irosite. Interesting. It's found in the Everglades. So what? That's in. That's on a different planet, I believe.
You know, I'm glad I'm just a chemist and I don't
The
have to
Everglades
think
are a real
about
place, though.
the industry.
Like-
Except I do, because I'm also working with
Like-
chemical engineers as well. But
It's like
Jesus
I
Christ.
get it.
Going in, huh?
Like if you look at some how the ores are laid out. So if I just type in the word ore,
Ooh,
So,
fuck that was there.
like let's say I want like a fancy ore
Go, Marco.
No.
Nope.
when I eventually find one.
Boost.
So what's this? No, these aren't ores. I don't care about the bees.
Oh god, not the bees.
Not the bees.
Not the bees!
So,
It's gonna be-
like,
Oh, I've got spikes.
Alright!
let's look at something that I might need soon-ish. So, okay, so like sapphire ore, for example, I can only get sapphire ore in the Twilight Forest.
Yeah, they
If I want to get a palladium metallic powder ore, where do I get that from?
By the way, that,
okay,
that was me grappling into it.
okay, like this one.
That was me going for the steel.
I could only get it
That was a
on the
good, like,
planet
angle.
Ross 128b. This one 128ba.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back.
It's just the whole thing is just a nightmare.
Why are they
Like-
called different planets?
Like here are all of the planets in my solar system I could go to. So I could go from the Nether. I can get copper ore from the Nether. En. What's that? That's N.
Go
Yeah,
on.
go. Okay.
Like, okay, tell me this. Is like titanium on another planet? Because surely you need
no.
that to get to another planet in the first place.
Titanium. Let's
Do I have no
see.
boost now?
So depending on which ore you go for, yes, would be my assumption. Yeah, Everglades, wherever the Everglades are there.
No,
no.
fucking me.
No, it's
no,
gonna
Oh.
Hot. A block of titanium, made from black titanium, made from molten black titanium, made from black titanium dust, which is made
Yeah,
from...
completely open.
Interesting. I like how the dust is... Aha, right, I know. Titanium dust, there we go, right. Where
Of a straight titania, like, what? This mod just feels like
work?
my
It's work.
chemical engineer supervisor just decided to put it is work. It is actually
Impure
just work. A
pile of
full
titanium
life cycle
dust.
assessment
Christ.
of every single industry you
Okay,
put in.
right, here you go.
Just
You-
slightly simplified.
You wanted to
This
know
map looks
where I could
fucking
find
awesome.
titanium. I could find titanium
this is a good one, right?
alongside neutronium, adamantium,
This is a
and
good one.
naquita.
Yeah, what is
save the fucking replay.
Ah.
that? Yeah.
Which are on the Kuiper Belt,
Oh, there you
Barnard
go.
Star E, Vega B,
The guy
Pluto,
goes.
Triton, Barnard Star F.
And you're still on Earth. Oh my god.
No,
I
fuck,
could
fuck,
not.
fuck, fuck, get it,
So, like,
fuck.
No.
like when you get to
He fucked it!
the high
Didn't fuck
voltage,
it.
you start making tooling. And you need to make an
Almost my
absolute
favourite
fuck
one.
Almost
ton
the
of
favourite
tooling
corner.
because that's what you use to go to space, for like to like get to the moon or something.
Don't
twelve-
just grapple it
Fucking
earlier,
Christ, my
but
dude. Like-
just out of reach, like fuck, fuck.
I want to go back to my supervisor just to go through life cycle analysis for industry now,
No,
because
you-
I
no,
may as well
you
just
don't.
start doing that rather than doing this. At least I get
Everybody-
paid
every
doing
single
that.
one of them
At least you get paid to do that.
Yeah, here I'm
Everybody-
just like, oh, you know,
everybody wants it to
you're
go.
just playing it here for shits and gigs. Oh, I have
Still
to
they
do
ended
that
up
for
with an
work.
empty goal.
Let themselves straight
Oh
up.
my god.
Yeah, well, Twilight Forest isn't too bad because the only problem with Twilight Forest is to get to the
Go.
Twilight Forest, I have to literally throw away a diamond and 4 circuits. So you
Well,
have
4 circuits, so it's
it's the
That's
circuits that
cheap, right?
hurt. So I don't give a shit about the diamond. You know your priorities are all screwy when diamonds are common. It's the circuits that hurt.
Well,
Oh,
technically, you just need a pressure chamber for the diamond.
yeah, technically.
You can grow a diamond in an autoclave.
Yeah, and you just need some like amorphous carbon to chuck in there, give it some pressure for like 3 days or so, at the right pressure at least, and then you're done. That's arguably easier than going for a mass silica farm and going for that whole
Well, the beauty of having
chemical
an
deposition process.
the beauty of having an auto miner is I can just
I don't want to
mine
smack it with
diamond
that
ore.
fucking...
Supposedly.
I was at the wrong angle to actually smack it.
You were right behind it.
Ooh.
If it
Yes.
weren't for the natural diamond mystery fucking things up, then I would say that silicon is a lot
Like, I went too
harder to
fast,
deal
actually.
with.
Yeah.
Silicon in this is also a nightmare.
Yes, I'm not surprised at all. I'm guessing there's two different types as well.
Silicon dioxide is the big one.
No, but I mean the refined silicon. I'm guessing there's two different types of silicon here. Because you've got your wafers and you've got your main crystal.
So we hang on, so wafer. So we've got doped wafers. Obviously, we have.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
fucking obviously, and you get those from silicon balls, and you grow the silicon balls for 267 seconds.
I've plunged it.
So yeah, 267 seconds to grow my silicon.
Oh, fucking hell!
That
That was a nice
And that's
save, like,
and the
holy
annoying
shit.
bit about that
Go
is that's
My car was already in there.
267 seconds at 480 EU per tick,
I feel like I'm back at work.
which is disgusting. Or, you know, I can do it with nitrogen gas because nitrogen is cheap and do it at 600 seconds at 480 EU per tick. Oh, and if you interrupt
love
that
the
tick
map.
cycle halfway through, it restarts.
You just
Hey, it's
start
so nice
again
and
because
relaxing
you've
to play video
disrupted.
games.
Yeah,
You've just disrupted the crystalline formation.
it's
So it makes I hate that it makes sense, but god
Well,
fucking damn.
like in every process, if it uses a machine to do it, if it
The
gets
guy has
disrupted,
plunger.
it has to start again. And if it gets disrupted in a multi-block, which growing those things is a multi-block, it doesn't get it doesn't start again. It just deletes the input materials. It's good multi-block structures. Just delete the input. I do not want to fight the bloke on the back of the horse. That's just
What actually saved the goal of
sad.
their side? Like,
So yes.
One of the guys used the plunger.
So yeah,
dislike
like
this
this mod. Oh my goodness! Oh god, more creepers.
I dislike this mod.
Nice.
I dislike it in the same way that my supervisor sort of disregarded the health and safety forms that I was meant to be filling out, and I did fill out. They were just never read.
too late.
That's on me.
They were signed, but not really read. And I know
I
that for a
decided to take
fact.
the ball home.
You see the
Guys, it's not going to our goal.
this mod pack is great.
We were going for like boost or something, but the ball was hanging
The reason
there,
I
like,
enjoy this mod pack is because it gives me. It actually
that's
gives me
like a
something
bad
to aim
thing
for.
mine that randomly
Yeah.
Were
happened.
they completely open there?
In comparison to something like
Not
Satisfactory.
really, but you fucking smacked
Well,
it all
like,
the way to the side.
I do like Satisfactory, but yeah, like there's like because this has got like quests that sort of hold your hand
Nice.
to get through things. But like
Yeah.
I say hold your hand, like these quests are hilariously like some of them are really hot hand holdy, and others are just like draw the rest of the fucking owl.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's gonna miss.
Yep.
Oh shit!
But almost. That's
Gonna miss.
but just.
Gonna go in my favorite
But
corner.
I do
Last time
really
it's
enjoy this mod
spikes. I
pack.
have
It
spikes.
is nice.
Stop switching.
And I think a lot of the reason I enjoy it is because most kitchen sink mod, because this mod pack has got like Twilight Forest, it's got it's basically got every single kitchen sink mod
I
you
won't have
usually
enough
get together.
Spikes.
So
to
you've got
get it in.
Formcraft, you've got what's the tree one called? Fucking forestry. You've got
Shit.
Away from our
IC2. You've got Buildcraft.
You know.
Like you've got all of the 1.7 kitchen sink. It's just that when they made the kitchen sink pack, rather than like every other kitchen sink pack where
Fucking
it's
just went the cast iron.
you can the mod packs exist together, but they don't build off of each other. In this,
I think I saw one of them
everything
having
is
a spawn.
gated behind
Nah, they
using
have
other mod
the-
packs. So like, they
Fucking-
actually get to
no.
a point where you're forced to learn magic because you need the magic to do certain things to progress, which is
They have the annoying.
it's
base.
quite nice. Like
is
the fact that
design.
they've managed to include everything like that.
No, but
I just
think
had like an
saw
idea
Spike.
that's probably going to be used at some point, or
Cecily.
probably has been used. But like,
Nice. Oh, nice.
why don't they just get
Spikes.
students in secondary
God.
schools to start playing the Gregtech mod, and that way we can start learning like, oh, you know, you could do stuff like this, and that way
because-
schools can save budget of like spending
Nice,
equipment.
clearly.
Well, in fairness, like the mod isn't as accurate as you
Gonna
might.
try and get it there.
It's not, no, but it would simplify things easy enough in the first place anyway, in the same way that like an
Too
easy
early on the plunger.
Flash piece of software
Yeah.
could make diagrams
We're
and
getting
away
and
from
stuff
their
like
goal.
that.
Yeah. Elements. What's the what's the DNS tech pack? I've not heard of DNS tech pack.
Also, moving downstairs, it's fucking loud here. These two nerds.
Fucking nerds.
Lovely.
I love it, but it's very loud.
Ooh, crikey. Complaining that we're very loud. He's literally deafening.
Lowered their volume since they're playing Rocket League, but yeah. I need to bring them back up now. Ah, shit.
Dooba-dooba-doo. I need to
Wait,
get.
you were streaming when I spilled the whole thing about the phone call and being unsociable. Ah, shit. Oh no.
I cannot remember if I was or not.
Oh, you probably were. Well, shit.
I can always go through and remove that stuff from the video.
Elements of DNS Tech Pack basically rush in updated mods as soon as they come out, and it's a mega tech pack that includes dimensions, magic, and hell of a lot of tech. So much tech you can find like 20 ways of making something.
Yeah, so it's just like a pretty classic kitchen sink mod pack then. And you know, I do like a couple of those. Like I quite like Revelations as like a, if I'm just gonna piss about and do stuff. Revelations is quite a nice mod pack. For like a similar reason, like it's just generally very enjoyable to play. It's not very stressful. But if I want, like, yeah, this is like I come home from work being a scientist to continue being a scientist mod pack.
No, you be an engineer. This is less scientist, this is just more engineer at this point.
At this point, it's all engineering, but wait until I've actually got to start worrying about my fucking ore chains and shit like that.
That's still engineer because you're doing life cycle analysis at that point.
I refuse to be called an engineer.
Too late, you're playing as a fucking engineer.
Nope. Not an engineer.
Too fucking late.
I'm a scientist, damn it.
You are a scientist, but you're playing as an engineer.
No, mate. Nah.
Nah, bro.
I had a lag spike then. That reverted everything I did. I've not had one of those before.
I mean, you call a botanist nature's engineers, right?
No.
If a scientist discovers what's new, an engineer works to discover what you can do with what's already there.
I'm sure a botanist would murder you if you told them they were an engineer.
I think they just call it fucking metal, to be honest.
To be fair, I still take the piss out of my aerospace engineer mate who is now working on hovercraft, which obviously uses an awful lot of aerospace engineering, but I am 100% running with his now a nautical engineer.
He is, though. He is, though.
But he's not, because he is actually using aerospace principles.
I know he is, but
But it's hilarious just telling him he's a nautical engineer.
You're a nautical engineer now. Have fun.
He doesn't take it very well.
Engineers are scientists. Bachelors of Science in Electrical Engineering, BSEE. But you have Bachelors of Engineering.
Oh yeah, but no one gets a Bachelor's of Engineering. It's always a BSc. Or in the
No.
UK, at least, it's almost always a BSc. Now you get M-Engs.
No.
M-Engs are really common, but B-Eng, it's not as common.
No. I mean, I had a lot quite. Imperial has a whole lot of people doing B engines, so I feel it's not as uncommon as you think.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think Bristol it's BSc if you do if you drop out a bachelor's, but if you do the masters, you come out with an M-Eng.
Okay.
I think it's because it's easier to give someone a BSc than it is to give them a B-Eng.
In what sense?
Accreditation.
Oh.
The rules for accreditation are really, really harsh. It's one of the reasons why second year physics is so difficult in nearly every university in the UK.
Yeah, I remember. I miss research already. And I hate that I'm saying that now.
Why is Warp back here? I thought he'd disappeared.
Yes, almost. I was just coming back to say goodnight.
You going to bed?
No.
I realized when we jumped down, yeah, like me and I, Rose, are both heading off.
Oh.
Like, why did we even jump down?
Poor Varg. He's sat on...
I
Dragged Varg
realized
back
when
up
we
here.
jumped down, that was the like little pause moment, like, oh yeah, fuck time is...
Poor man. He's just sat there all on his own now.
Yes. All quiet.
He's back. Good job. Hello, Varg.
But yeah, anyways, good night. See you
Night-night.
tomorrow.
To be fair, the one that I'm more impressed at is I have a person I know who's is like a friend of a friend who is actually getting a D-Eng.
A what?
A D-Eng. So, you know how a PhD is a doctorate in philosophy?
Yeah, but they're getting a doctorate in engineering, which is quite rare.
Very, very rare.
Yeah.
Why is it rare?
Because the general consensus
It's a pain in the
is
arse.
that a doctor, like, doctorates of specific subject don't really exist. It's almost
just
universally
doctorate.
just a doctor of philosophy.
Yeah.
Because you're extending a research field, and that's the sort of traditional way of doing things. Now, you do sometimes get things like doctors of literacy, and doctors of engineering and stuff like that. Obviously, you've got doctor of medicine, but that's actually not strictly speaking a PhD equivalent. Mostly because depending on which country you get it in, if you get a PhD, you can call yourself doctor forever. Whereas if you get a medical doctor's license, as soon as you lose the license, you're no longer allowed to call yourself doctor again. Which is why a lot of people who take medical degrees in the UK do an extra 2 years, because that bumps them up to a PhD level, which means that when they... It means they become... Yeah, they're always doctor. Which is why you then got to differentiate between Doctor MD and Doctor PhD, or in the case of my friend, he'll be Dr. D-Eng.
Which is fucking annoying, because they've just kind of fucked up the etymology in that case. Again,
Well, the funny thing is that doctors, as in physicians, actually stole it from PhD.
Yeah, I know.
Not like in a bad way, it's just that back in the day, you did a PhD in medicine to be a doctor, and so it colloquially became the de facto usage.
Yeah, so they got greedy, claimed it for themselves. It's annoying.
Well, no, it wasn't like greedy and they claimed for themselves, it's just everyone who was a doctor had to have a doctorate. So it made sense.
I know, I'm taking the piss.
That's
Oh
it.
well.
I should really make some actual decent food in this. I've got
But
cluster
yes, elements of love. Engineers are not scientists. I disagree with that very strongly.
Nah.
Really.
No, you see, I love ribbing the shit into engineers, but actually, engineers are scientists. Like, they're not scientists. Like, they're not frontline researchers, but they are effectively hardcore experimentalists.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Like, 'cause so much research goes on in the average engineering, like, job. Like, that you wouldn't necessarily consider, like, groundbreaking research, but it is research. Am I any
It is
close to making
research, yeah.
AE2? I am... I am a applied energetics. Yes, apparently. I can start doing AE2. Not quite sure how. Oh, I need to use an autoclave. Or a chemical reactor.
What I will say though, is that medics like to think they're scientists, but I don't really agree that they are. That's the one that I've gotten into arguments about, because I've seen their curriculums and they don't necessarily do any research
I think
unless they go after their whole the first of their 6 years and they decide to go into research after. Then yes, okay.
I think the
But then during it,
problem with medics is they get a scientific understanding, but they don't perform the scientific method.
yeah.
Which is absolutely sort of fine. There's no reason why a doctor should have to do the scientific method, but I think that
but that doesn't make them scientists.
well, I think a lot of the time it also makes them. It's like the question of how can you have a nurse who's anti-vax or a doctor who's anti-vax, ignoring politics, because anyone can believe anything due to politics. Like, the idea of a doctor or a nurse being anti-vax is astounding. But when you
It happens a lot.
it does, especially for nurses, and it's because while they may understand the science, they don't understand the scientific method. I think because they are two completely different things.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of the problem comes in, with the lack of that. You get your science from Joe
James.
Rogan. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh dear God. What? What does that?
I don't even know what that
What
means.
does that mean? I'll risk it. I'll search. What that means.
and risky Google search of the day.
It means over the top stereotypical American. No, it's a Twitch emote.
Oh, I see.
It's a Twitch emote. It's just over a top stereotypical American. Yeah.
Right. What am I? I've just suddenly got lost as to what I'm doing because I've been distracted by interesting conversations.
You were chopping wood and now you were working on something else.
Yes, I need to wait for all of my wood to turn into charcoal.
I'll give credit to Joe Rogan. He's an interesting and very charismatic individual, and
He's a moron as well.
he is okay. I think morons are.
Yeah, no, he is very stubborn.
Arrogant.
I
and definitely
feel
set in his ideals.
I feel
Yes.
the phrase I want to use here is "Don't argue with an idiot because they will bring you down to their level and beat you with experience." And I feel that Joe Rogan sort of sits in that it looks like he's having good conversations with scientific people and he's trying to understand, but actually, yeah, blindly confident. I think, yeah, like that. It's he's intelligent enough to think that he knows everything, but not intelligent enough to realise that he knows nothing, which
Yeah.
is something
The ideal of,
a
you know,
lot.
What's the principle about with educated people generally think they know less?
Yes.
They do.
The less,
Yeah,
the
okay.
The
less.
other way around. He is
Yes,
the
yes.
ideal of the other way round.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he's midway. He's at the midway point.
Yeah, if you draw a graph of it, it's quite interesting because it's like you do primary school education. You think you don't know everything. You do secondary school education. You start getting more into the I know everything. You do like the next level up, like we would call it A levels. I don't know what it's called in other countries. And you start thinking, actually, I'm reaching a point where I do know everything. And I guess to some extent that's the equivalent of like 2 years of college, A levels.
IB. It's IB.
IB, International Baccalaureate, yeah, like that's like, and that's a level. Certainly in the UK, most people have not even reached that level, but that's sort of like the peak of the curve of I know everything, because you can go watch a YouTube video made by, I don't know, Kurzgesagt, and you can follow the whole thing through, you understand it, you might go on Wikipedia rabbit holes, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then
But
you
then
start...
as soon as you start going to like undergraduate studies, and then you start realizing, oh, the models that we've been using in A levels and IB and SATs just really don't work in everyday use, and I'm having to adjust and readjust all the models I've been using and going through. Okay, this model has advantages here, etc., etc., etc.
You don't think
but
many
it also has
Americans...
disadvantages here.
Have you seen what James said?
What?
I love it. I love this. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but
No, don't. Dude,
I
have you
know
seen their
that's a
world
bad
history
idea.
curriculum? Their world history curriculum is even worse.
Hang on a sec.
It's all about the US in the first place.
I cannot complain too much about world history when you can sum up the British world history as the Tudors, the Romans, World War One, World War Two, World War One again, World War Two again, the history of medicine, the Romans again. Oh, and then if you do A levels, you might actually talk about another country, like the Soviet Union, and well, actually, it's not the Soviet Union. It's like the years just before the Soviet Union.
Yeah. I know Waz did history at King's, and like what we talked about was mostly down to European history, specifically during World War II and Germany, and how the economy went down during that period, which was quite a nice chat actually.
Yeah, it's just quite interesting.
But yeah, going back to like history around the world, it annoys me because there's so much good history out there. Like, sure, there are world-changing events to talk about, but you could focus a little bit more on the small side, because it's easy to talk about the policies and the decisions that were made by big individuals, but there's definitely something to be said for small individuals as well, and the driving forces behind those, and linking them together, because there's always a link between the big decisions and the small ones.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Egyptian and Greek mythology. Yeah, that's a big part of sort of pre-GCSE history.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
God, they don't even teach it right.
So yeah, from what I understand from the A-level history course when my friends were doing it, is there's basically 4 strands, and the school chooses which strand they want to follow. So one of the strands is like the Russian Cultural Revolution. One of them was like the Marxist era, like pre-Marxist, like Bolsheviks and all that lot. And then there was like the history of British India.
That's already problematic, but go on.
Well, I know, from what I understand, when they say the history of British India, it's because it finishes with British India, but it starts on pre-British India, so, and sort of moves through to how they sort of got, to put it bluntly, they got conquered by the East India Trading Company.
Yes.
and all the shit that went down there. But once again, I think a lot of the problem is that because it's optional as to which ones you take in the A-levels, it means that you end up with pretty much every school doing the same. It's a bit like the reason I took History of Medicine is because, in GCSE, is because the options were History of Medicine or History of Crime and Punishment. In the UK, specifically, which I think, in fairness, would have been an amazingly interesting course. Like, Crime and Punishment, in its own right, is pretty interesting in terms of like how it's evolved.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, in terms of like the history of medicine, it's a lot more worldwide view. It definitely focuses on like the fact that Koch was the most important, pretty much the most important scientist of his age, courtesy of the invention of the microscope.
You just say Koch.
Yeah, his name's Koch, Koch.
Oh, that Koch. For a second, I've completely blanked for a minute.
He's German. Koch.
Yeah. Koch. Yeah.
Koch. Because I'm being lazy and can't be bothered to try and pronounce it the German way. Koch.
Yeah.
Is it Henry Koch or something like that? I can't remember.
I think so. But...
It was a long time ago when I learnt all this crap. But I think this is like a lot of the problem with British history schools, or history in British schools, should I say, is I can't really kick on the Americans too much for looking at American history when we very much focus on European and British history.
Again, the US world history curriculum is just about the US's interaction with the rest of the world, so you can kind of harp on it a little bit. Hi, Void.
Hello.
I guess the only thing that I think the US could really do with working on, and I believe they're technically meant to, but the standard of teaching is all over the place for a country that big, is
multiple countries, but yeah,
effectively, yeah, it is effectively. Well, I think that's a lot of the problem, is there's no standardized education across the country, is there? It's each state chooses its curriculum.
Yeah.
But I think like a lot of the problems with that could be improved would be just like, because from what I understand from a couple of Americans who I know, is when they talk about like slavery and things like that, they talk of it as like it's something in the past, it doesn't happen anymore, racism no longer exists. And that sort of explains an awful lot of why the current situation is happening. That mindset of, for lack of a better word, it's basically British exceptionalism, but it's American exceptionalism.
Oh, elements! I've got a wonderful interaction. It's just So. The whole idea of those girls just going like, "Excuse me, I don't speak English, I don't speak any European, I speak fluent American, so could you please come back to me when you learn how to speak fluent American, please? So I'm just gonna go back to sitting in my Honda and just go with my Starbucks."
I really hate it when you bring out Stacey. I actually hate Stacey.
No, but it's such a good voice. It's so good.
I hate Stacey.
It's spot on.
I hate it.
It does it annoyingly good. What the fuck?
It is, yeah. No, I think the problem is...
You can hear the privilege in my voice from this voice.
Well, it's not so much that. It's more of a case of, it's a stereotype that... I don't know how true the stereotype is, but it's a stereotype that I just know is such a bad... if you are that stereotype, good lord, please.
So, here's the worst part. So, I based this voice on someone I know. And so, the whole introduction I do to get into this voice is, "Hi, I'm Stacey. I study at UCLA, and I study prison reform and law in California. And it's great. I've been working on all sorts of stuff, and I've been going to this program recently to help prisoners go for rehabilitation. And it's great. So we're going for all sorts of stuff, teaching them new skills."
Please stop. This is really grinding on me and grating.
I know,
Oh
but it
my
is actually
God.
based on someone with that accent.
Oh.
She's actually a wonderful person. Ironically, she doesn't fit the stereotype at all, but she does have that voice, and she's a lovely, lovely person. She's actually quite politically active. But yeah, she doesn't have that voice, and I don't.
But yeah, but it's a similar fashion. Like I can speak to pretty much anyone from the UK and have zero prejudices about where they come from, except for one place, and that's Brummies. No, Brummies. I just shut down whenever I speak to a Brummie, and it's not because I don't like them. It's
Can I click this guy?
Yeah, it's alright. He's already banned.
Okay, cool.
It's not that I think Brummies are bad or anything like that. It's just the accent. I think it's because I helped out for a Brummie student at programming, and the problem is that the Brummie accent is slow, and I think because I was helping this student who was actually a bit slow at dealing with this, I've now associated the accent with slow people, and that's not the case at all. I've spoken to so many Brummies who are absolutely fine, really intelligent, but trying to shake that association that I have made is so hard.
Yeah. I know, I get it.
This is a racist.
To Brummies.
Against Brummies.
And the best bit is,
I get what you mean,
that accent only exists in such a small part of the Birmingham area. Like, if you go to Wolverhampton or anything like that, the accent already changes enough that I don't care anymore. It is such a tightly confined space where that accent comes from.
Well, like, here's the thing: accents do play quite a role in social prejudices. Like, we both know that. There was a study conducted in the US by a biracial professor who, called up multiple built properties with two different voices because he had a Caucasian voice and a definitively sounding American African American voice. And, I think there was like a 90% success rate in getting a successful viewing for the Caucasian voice, but only like a 20% successful case for getting a viewing with the African American voice. So like there is a case for it, and it can be through bad associations. Obviously, in that study's case, it was due to the American society. In your case, it was one experience with a programmer.
To be fair, like to some extent, like when I look at this prejudice of mine against Brummies, and I look at the fact about how I got it from this moron, I then realise that actually this person was a complete idiot, because it turns out he was right. So let me just paint the picture for you. He's a chemical physicist. Okay, he has an M.Sci degree. He is an extremely intelligent individual. He also would probably turn around and walk with people like Nigel Farage.
So he's an educated idiot.
A very educated idiot.
Yes. You can be educated and you can be an idiot, and those are unfortunately not mutually exclusive. Oh well.
So yes.
I am going to grab myself a break.
I thought you said you were going to grab yourself breakfast then. I was like, what?
Breakfast? No, just the drink.
To be honest, that's understandable. I could use some cereal right now.
You want sorry?
I could use some cereal right now.
You could use some cereal. Get you some bran flakes.
Well, let's have some crunchy nut.
Crunchy nut cornflakes.
Lord of the Rings is up in 15-ish minutes.
No, it's Double D watching Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bloody hell, it's
The
10
second. the
past
second
11.
task.
Is it? Why is it 10 past 11?
Yeah, I should
That's-
probably go to bed, so I've got demonstrating tomorrow.
What are you demonstrating?
I am teaching 4th year students
Boring. Stay awake and watch Lord of the Rings.
Boring, stay awake. I'm teaching 4th year students how to multi-thread and Python and C programs.
Oh, Python multi-threading.
Yeah.
I should go to sleep.
Well, Python specifically, like, Python is not really multi-threaded. Python it's done using
it's got
MPI,
automatic.
so it's multi-process instead. Sorry.
And make it multi-threaded through a lot of pain and suffering.
Yeah, for that they use Python, so they basically just write C code inside Python, and then I sit there and go, well, why didn't you just write C in the first place?
Yeah.
So,
But maybe that's just
if you,
me.
if you need to do a bunch of calculations in Python, and you need multi-thread, just make a virtual machine, run Python on both of them, and divide the amount of things.
That's pretty much what we're
you need to
teaching them.
calculate. Yeah.
But the bit that we're teaching them is how to do that without requiring...
Without doing the virtual machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, but so I'm saying, like, it's so not made for this, you might as well just make 2 virtual machines, buy 2 computers, and divide the amount of data.
Well, they effectively... It works using the principles that were used for the first ever sort of supercomputers and clusters. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
But it does come with some pretty severe overheads.
I'm sorry, did you say... But it does come.
Shut the fuck up. Cactus, I'm wondering, like, your Twitch channel, why haven't you put on tags like academic chat? Or like...
Because I don't always want to talk about this shit. It sort of comes out from whatever conversation someone around me is having. I
That
don't
is true.
I don't just suddenly start up an academic chat. It usually stems
This
from
is true.
another chat. Thank you, Bug, for the sausage in chat.
Fuck, you screwed up the count. It's fucking...
I
Actually,
screwed up the what?
It's... Fuck. Yeah, that works. Yeah, whatever.
Sausage to
There we
21.
No, that's
I'd like to
2
point out
to
that you've raised
21.
it to the power twice.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Oh, so that's...
So that's to the 21st to the 21st.
In Python, though, that would just be to the 21st.
No, because in Python, to the power is
Use
double,
a star.
double star.
Use a star, and I...
That would actually be, I believe, a double bit shift.
Yeah, it would be a pain in the arse.
No, it's not. It's an
To the
XOR.
power.
It's an XOR, I think.
We're at...
Oh, I can't remember. It's been a lot. I very rarely do bitwise manipulation. Why would I ever want to do bitwise manipulation of anything?
We're at 23.
You want to do bitwise?
My fast square root.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to bring that up as soon as I said it.
Oh, God.
Right.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Also, fun story. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. We had like programming exercises. I don't know what do you call. It's not a class. It's when you go and actually do the shit.
It's a problems class.
What?
A problems
Oh,
class.
problem.
So the idea where you're given a set of
class.
problems, you can turn up, you work through it, you've got help if you need it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're a
yeah.
workshop.
Yeah, so yeah, workshop, problems class, that sort of thing, yeah.
Workshop.
Same
I
thing.
never know how to name it, but yeah, we had that.
Where is my...
And I think I caught one of my colleagues passing on code from someone else.
To be fair, that's not like...
Okay.
So, like in like the stuff I do, because I mark a lot of third years who are taking a second year course, which is to say they have no fucking idea how to program.
Actually, you're gonna hate my story after this, but go on.
And like the recycling of code is fine. Like, you know, we don't want you to reinvent the wheel. the bit that makes me that triggers, plagiarism and all that jazz is when we do a check on it and your code is like
exactly the same.
Yeah, like we actually ignore code matches that are up to 60% the same because the likelihood of you being divergent enough in what you're doing is so unlikely in programming for the sort of things we're doing. Like, there's only so many ways to perform a matrix multiplication, for example.
Oh yeah, no, it's not that he copied someone's and did his own. He literally just posted problem.py, open bracket 1, close bracket, and it was the exact same code.
Oh yeah, that would flag every plagiarism checker, and we would be dropping on him like a ton of brick.
Yeah.
So
he maybe changed like one variable. The thing is, we've been doing some exercises that you can do a million different ways, and this is a very specific syntax that one of my colleagues uses. And the other guy doesn't.
So my story sort of comes into play here in that you can sort of get around these checkers. Do they take into account comments or not?
Yes.
Yes. So I suspected this at some point, and so I thought, okay, I'm already carrying my entire cohort because none of them have any idea how to code in the first place. So, right, so if you all want to copy my code, you need to make sure you read the fucking comments, otherwise you're going to have some problems, because I wrote...
Yeah, like cock piss and shit like that in the...
Oh, no. I put the B-movie script into the comments.
Yeah, there's like something that's very bad to post yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I do when
so the version I sent out with the code, I told them, put this in, you'll be fine. But so each part just had at least a page of the B-movie script in the comments, and it was the best thing I've ever done.
The bit that always makes me laugh about the plagiarism that we sometimes get. So we use for Python we use a software package called Anaconda. And with Anaconda,
I know I've used it.
Yeah, so the software package from Anaconda that we use is specifically Spider. So we teach them how to use the Spider IDE. When you open a brand new file in Spider, the first thing it does is it puts the date it was opened and who opened it. So when I get a file from someone that has a different username on the who opened this file, the first thing I do is open up that person's file and do a complete line by line check to see if this is blatantly just the same code with the variable switched out.
Yep.
And you would be surprised at how often I have caught people doing that.
That's so dumb. See, I didn't really give the whole story with regards to the B-movie script, because while I divided the whole script up across the code, I'd also change out the variable names. And I tell people, like, guys, you need to change the variables, to make sure that it doesn't look like, you're just handing the code off. I don't want to deal with that stuff, because that's already going to account for quite a lot of the percentage, in terms of matching up. Even if it's line by line and looks structurally the same. Some people wouldn't do it. The B script would usually handle that stuff when they started to clear it out, but they wouldn't change the variables. But, Caritas isn't the only way to say cuckold. I had a lot of fun just messing about with people's code in that way. Or my code in that way, I suppose. But that was only my first year. Thankfully, I didn't have to carry anyone anymore after they figured it out. And they figured out, okay, he's going to help us, but I don't know what is it going to cost. My pride, my dignity.
occasionally GTA is asking me what the fuck was I doing, even though they can't see the name.
So, humble brag, was best in year.
Of course.
Which meant that I carried the year. And it wasn't like the usual carried the year where it's like, you know, people come and ask you questions and shit like that. I mean, like, if I made a suggestion about something, that was like gospel. Which was hilarious because I was working at the same level as them, in the sense like I had never programmed before, I was learning it all on the fly, I would undoubtedly get things wrong, get things right, you know, you're learning a new subject, but I took to programming like a fish to water. And this meant that, yeah, like anything I said was practically religious. But the bit that made it quite funny and sort of like a little bit sad, I guess, in a way, was when people would like ask me for their help, because I really pushed myself to do really well and to like actually leverage everything I could from the programs. They would go, "Oh, can I just see your code to see how it works?" And
annoys me. That annoyed me greatly at first, but yeah, go on. Sorry.
Well, it used to annoy me greatly at first until I realised that I could have given my code to people and they would have never have submitted it, because I used to. So I was doing it in C. And a big part of C is the concept of headers and splitting your files across your functions across multiple files. And I really, really leveraged that. Like, even on the most basic programs, I would have header files and split C code and stuff, because it just makes it so easy to read. But they had absolutely zero idea how to even compile it, how to run it, because you do have to.
They wouldn't have bothered to actually learn about that stuff in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. So it basically meant that I could give them my code, and they could look at it all they like, but they weren't going to use it.
What the fuck is going on? Yeah.
And you know, I had a few people who wanted to learn how to read it, and for those people, actually, because they then learned how to use it, they ended up doing it themselves, but
never coming back to you again.
Yeah, because they actually learnt it and they didn't copy, if that makes sense. They just learnt. But yeah, it turns out that at that level, the level of programming experience of my peers was disastrously low. Yeah, I am totally about to die if I don't get. Oh my god, there's a.
Do you not have any food in your inventory, my dude?
No, I don't. Fuck? No, let me get away.
But programming sounds complicated.
I'm dead.
Programming isn't complicated. It's
tiring in that you have to think about the logic behind it, but it's not complicated.
No, it's not complicated. I would say it's just a reflection upon yourself to understand, understand your logic, because it will tell you if you're doing something wrong, and I think that's the thing I like about it. Like, instantaneously, it will tell you this is wrong. Go again. It may not tell you exactly like what is wrong. Different programming languages and different environments have different error outputs, and that's fine. Like, they're variable in terms of how much information they give. Again, that's fine. But it is quite a good reflection as to how you face a problem in terms of, okay, I want to achieve said goal. This program is telling me this. What the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, okay, I am making it sound like a dreamboat. Yes, there are moments specifically where you have no idea what the fuck is going on. I'm currently working on Overleaf at the moment, and I'm trying to get. It's just I've been trying to figure out for like the past week of why it doesn't want to reformat and recompile itself back into the position that it should be. it's just not giving me any information whatsoever, and yeah, nothing. But in most cases, for like the easy stuff you start off with, it is quite a nice tool to learn with.
So the trick with programming is a trick which no one wants to follow through with, but it's the thing that will always help, and it's read the goddamn error message, and if you don't understand it, use the wonders of Google by copy and pasting exactly the error message. If you can obey those simple rules, you will be fine.
Reading the book also fucking helps.
It's RTFQ and RTFC. RTFQ means read the fucking question, and RTFC means read the fucking cues. That's about it.
The worst thing about it is the entry into it is it's not hard, but it's made out to be very hard.
No, it's just a lot of information in one go, but, you know, as in the same way that we filter out the information of the world, you know, when you're walking across the street, you don't take in everything, you just take in one thing, the path.
Yeah, but you can't do that automatically with something that you're learning. In the street,
you can't, but you do it pretty quickly, I'd say, if someone tells you what to look for.
I think...
No, like, if someone tells you, it's easy as fuck. But having to do it on your own is really...
The bit of programming that trips everyone up at some point is a lack of critical thinking. It's as simple as that, and I don't mean that in a nasty way. You know, I'm teaching people to program every week. A lot of the time, they look too closely at what's happening, or they look too far away, and they don't think about what that means. So, like, I had one a couple of days ago. Poor chap, really struggling to break out of a for loop. He wanted to exit a for loop using an if statement, and he knew he had to do it. He understood conceptually what he wanted to do. The problem he had was a lack of understanding of the syntax of the language that allowed him to do it. So that's like one area where you just don't know what the language will allow you to do, and it is just you need someone to tell you, or you need to read it, or
read the book. That is read the book.
Read the book, or just ask the internet. Once again, like, you know, how do I break out of a for loop?
It's a lot quicker. It's a lot quicker, but reading the book, if not for learning everything, like, you're not going to learn everything. You're not going to remember everything that a language can do.
No one's asking you to learn everything, though.
But the reason I say it's mostly a lack of critical thinking is because pretty much every time a problem occurs, there are some pretty definitive sources of knowledge that you can lean upon. But everyone seems to forget that these sources of knowledge exist until I point out to them, here are the sources of knowledge. Which is the same source of knowledge I pointed them at last time. And I think it's this.
I wouldn't call that critical thinking, though.
Well, no, but it is. It's they to an extent. It's a case of, I don't want to use the words hand holding because it's not. That doesn't describe the situation well enough. It's because throughout your entire, certainly in the UK, throughout your entire education, you are never taught how to critically think. You are taught to learn things by rote. You are taught, like, a method, but not taught why the method works or how. Like, you're taught how to do things. You're not taught how to move those things forward. Like, and that's fine at really low levels, but sort of when you reach GCSE and A level, this becomes quite a problem because you're taught, you know, well, a good example is like the gravity of the Earth is this value, and then you ask the question, why? And they say, well, using the, you know, square cube law, we see it does this, which is why planets orbit each other. It's like, yeah, but you haven't told me why.
The square cube law.
Yeah, and and then at some point, But the problem is that rather than explaining it conceptually, they just state it. It was like, why is gravity like this? Because of the square cube.
They give the definition and not the why the definition is as it is.
Yes,
for a
which
specific
There's quite an interesting paper, I think it's from Feynman, called The Mathematician's Lament, which actually goes into it. And they make an analogy to how, like, music works, and they said, like, if music was taught the way maths was, it'd be like learning all the theory behind music, but never actually hearing the notes until university. So it's like,
That'd
it's
be
like with
really
Pythagoras.
That'd be
Just-
so fun to not experience it, but to see.
It'd be
horribly
insane.
unethical. It'd be horribly unethical, but can you imagine not exposing someone to music until they get into university and then finally, and this is music.
Yeah, it's insane to think about it though, because it's sort of true. Like, the whole thing with maths is you actually build up to those conclusions of making those formulas, right? Whereas in music, it's kind of the opposite. You do something to build into those notes, and vice versa, whatever. But like with maths, like if we take Pythagoras for example, they sort of just give you a squared plus b squared is equals c squared, and that's about it. Like there's nothing else to it. They just say, okay, that's how you figure out the hypotenuse of a triangle, but they don't tell you how
For a very specific. That's just a very specific formula of a generalized formula that actually goes into why it works.
well,
Like
the thing is
they don't
that
tell you how they get to that formula.
well, to be fair though, but strictly, it depends on who teaches you. Because in my school, like the way they taught that, because obviously that you can state that as much as you like, and you'll sit there going, yeah, but why? They knew that. So what they got us to do is square paper, draw a triangle, draw the squares on each edge, cut them out, and demonstrate that you can fit these two other squares in the other one. It's quite difficult to do with squared paper, but you can do it. The better one that I've seen a video of another teacher is he built a water wheel where the triangle is full of water, and when you open the sluice, the squares are full of water. When you open the sluice gates and rotate it, you see that the water perfectly fills the other one, and that's just such a good way of showing how geometry actually works. Like that
You
is
don't even need
amazing.
to, but you don't even need to do that in the first place. You could even just go through the proof with them.
Yeah, but
Rather, you
but
could
no,
do
no,
the demo.
You can do
Yes,
it
it'd be a
you
lot
can
more
do it for
engaging.
Pythagoras's. You can do it for Pythagoras, but some things are much harder to demonstrate, and that's fine. But for those, going through the proof, going through the and this is how we get to this formula. Like let's assume this, then let's assume this, then let's assume this.
like
But,
I find
But then
like
again, why do you assume this?
I don't think we necessarily need to go like the whole way through, but but broadly speaking, like I don't necessarily expect them to teach critical thinking in maths. I think it'd be nice if they did, but I don't expect it. But certainly critical thinking in science, like getting them to question the experiments, getting them to question what they're doing, is woefully lacking.
In math, so the thing is, in math, if they did it, if they did critical thinking in math, it'd be so much different. It would be less useless crap and more useful crap.
Now you see,
I think.
I know you're saying less useless crap and more useful crap, but like thinking back on everything I learned in maths at lower levels, I lean on most of it for everything I do now.
Because you're a fucking
No,
nerd.
but
That's
yeah, no, but I mean outside of what I do, like the amount of times, like when you, I think it's because a lot of people, I think it's because maths is taught badly. But strictly speaking, like algebra, for example, it's literally just a shopping list.
algebra is not taught. Is not taught in the way it should be. At least in Serbia, it's not. Honestly, the first time I heard about Boolean algebra is now. 2-3 weeks ago. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, but why would you ever need to know Boolean algebra unless you're doing bitwise addition?
Dude, Boolean algebra can be used for everything.
Fuck algebra. My god.
No,
numbers.
No, algebra is
Double D, no, just trust the conversation.
So the thing with algebra
Sorry.
is
Hello, I'm here.
And it's not just algebra, it's the logic behind the algebra, why it works like that.
Well,
that can be used for a lot of things.
I think a lot of
in math.
A lot of it comes down to they don't explain it in a way that makes sense. Because, like, at the age they're at, that most people get taught this stuff, you can't just trust they will accept it on blind faith, which effectively is all maths is. Like, you accept a bunch of axioms on blind faith, and then mathematics appears out of thin air. And that's just the way it is.
Sure, but no, it's not.
Yes, it is. That is exactly what maths is. Maths is getting a set of axioms and then just working through, and as long as those axioms hold, everything works. If you break one of those axioms... Pardon?
All those axioms didn't just appear out of thin air.
But they did, because you can change the axioms, and mathematicians do it all the time. Like, you can redefine... Like, for example, like, one of the big things a lot of mathematicians do is change how multiplication works. Intentionally, because it opens up different fields of mathematics. But those fields are incompatible with anything that uses standard multiplication. Boolean, for example, is a good example.
They don't... Not really, though. You say multiplication, sure, but that's not multiplication anymore. That's just a binary operation.
Well, no, but I mean
the axiom.
The axiom that would control multiplication. They will change it.
And
how
with
do
that,
you change multiplication?
And with that, that is no
because
longer
it changes
just
addition.
Multiplication. That is a binary operation.
It's not a binary operation.
It's not an operation.
Like
it is.
No. I
It's
think
not.
no, because
I think you're confusing this.
Like an example of an axiom you can change, for example, is removing the concept of zero. Like, you can straight up remove the concept of zero and create a new branch and redefine maths around that, and it will work. But by having
How do you...
Zero didn't exist.
Sorry, okay.
Zero didn't exist up until about the 1500s.
Yeah.
Fair play. Sorry, please keep going.
But no, but what I mean is, like, overall, like, mathematics as I look at it now is basically just I'm putting blind faith into a bunch of mathematicians who have done all the work for me and trust they are correct based on axioms. We shouldn't teach it that way to kids, because it doesn't work. They don't understand that I can have blind faith in these things because someone has done the work. And they think it's never going to be useful because of that. And, like,
no, that's entirely what kids believe. It's like somebody above you tells it, and that is 100%
but then
correct until you learn otherwise.
But when
that's
you
not how it should be
no,
taught.
but that's not how it should. But the reason it shouldn't be taught that way, Double D, is because the very thing that you just said. You came and went, "Fuck algebra." Like, that's because you've been taught on blind faith that this is how algebra works. This is the only way it works, and this is the only time it's going to be useful is your maths class. But I can tell you now.
No. I'm in engineering, and I did A-level mathematics, and I can see the usefulness of it, and I think the timing of it was poor.
No, but
and that is in my mental image is fuck algebra because it was the wrong timing in my instructional period.
But the thing is with algebra is that algebra is your shopping list. Like, you go to the shop, you say, I want 10 tins of beans, I want 6 apples and a banana. How much does this cost? That's algebra. That entire shopping list is one algebra equation.
I grasp that now, but that was not instructed to me.
But that's the problem. But that's the problem. That's what I'm sort of saying. Is like,
if they went through, this is how you can use this, it'd be fine.
Because
they do it.
You are effectively taught to accept that algebra exists and is useful on blind faith. instead of being taught that algebra is used every day by yourself, and you don't even realise you're using it. And that if
So
you start to realise you're
can you
using
not
it,
see how that was developed though?
what
So
do you
you
mean?
can see that way back in the day that, oh yeah, we don't need this algebra, we can just use numbers, and then, oh shit, no, we actually need algebra and all the rest of it. And then it steadily progresses to the point where, oh fuck, we actually need algebra, yeah, we don't need to tell people why we need it.
It was developed
Yeah,
like this.
but you
because-
learn that through experience rather than someone telling you
But-
and teaching you that, rather than going through the painful experience of and the existential dread experience of, oh, I need this.
Like,
So get my side point is that should be taught separately. Of here is why we need these things.
it should be taught at the same time.
At the same time.
So yes, but it should also be taught alongside things like why we need art, why we need taxes, why we need algebra, why we need engineers.
Well,
Does that stand for reason to you guys?
Well, I think actually teaching taxes to kids is actually a complete and utter waste of time. And
Yeah.
I know that sounds like a really controversial statement, because you always hear, why are you teaching me algebra when you can teach me life skills like taxes? And the reason we shouldn't be teaching you the life skills like taxes is because if you can't sit there and learn algebra, you're not going to pay attention to tax law. It's let's be honest here, you're not going to sit here, I used to do PGSE or whatever they call it, life skills, and I can't remember anything that was taught in that. Everything I know about taxes is because I became an adult and suddenly had to learn about taxes.
Also, like, to make sure that you've actually done your taxes right, you sort of need algebra in the first place anyway.
But I think
no, you need an accountant if you're.
but I think the problem with assuming because I think teaching life skills is great, but the life skills that people claim we need to teach versus the life skills we actually teach, and then the life skills we should teach are three different things.
There's exactly your problem. What people ask us to teach and what we actually teach. There's the problem right there. You need to bridge the gap and say, right.
But the people who are asking us don't know what they're asking for.
No, they know exactly what they're asking for, but we don't know how to provide it, or they haven't been provided it, or.
But I would disagree there, because going back to the tax thing, for example, we were taught how to do taxes in school, and I can tell you, I have seen people go on Facebook, on whatever, I was never taught taxes in school, I wish they taught taxes in school, and I sit there and go, we were literally taught taxes in school.
Right, you were taught taxes in school if you understood maths. And if you
we were taught this is a tax bracket. This is how tax brackets went together.
Oh, okay. You were specifically told this is how you will be taxed. Okay, percentages, I guess. But
You're told, 20% over this, 30% over this. It doesn't affect the previous tax. We were taught how a progressive tax system works.
You weren't taught how to do taxes. You learned what taxes are.
No. To literally do them.
No, we were taught that if you earn 25 grand a year, how much tax would you pay? And we were taught how to calculate that, so that you wouldn't be suddenly shocked.
You're charged. All right, but then, then you get into business.
Yeah, that absolutely is.
And that is a life skill which you should know. But the problem is that you then see everyone turn around and say, I was never taught this, I wish they had taught me it. And it's well, this just perfectly demonstrates why it's pointless trying to teach you it when you don't actually need it in this situation. Which sounds like I'm arguing backwards here, because then you argue, well, why are we teaching people algebra when, you might be...
No, it brings back to my point entirely that you need a class that literally tells you how to use these skills.
Well, no, it's a class that needs to teach you critical thinking. How to apply skills from one area to another area is what should be taught. You don't need to be
They
taught
have
how
that,
to
it's
do
called
tax.
statistics.
No. You don't need to be taught
No.
how to do taxes. You need to be taught how to do maths, and then taught how you can apply the maths to any situation you're in, or taught how
Right,
to
okay.
speak English and how to apply that English to any situation you're in.
Right. So so we have maths, and then well, no, let's take maths out of the equation for a second. So we have English, and then English lit is how you describe it. So you taught how to speak English, then how to apply it. Yeah. So you'd have
Sort
mathematics,
of, yeah.
and then statistics.
No,
You'd have
statistics is
which
maths.
is pure base numbers, and then you'd have statistics, which is how to analyze the human aspect of numbers. Yeah.
I wouldn't call it statistics,
No.
but yeah.
So in my school, it was statistics. It was how you analyze and how you data analyze and how you get rid of shit data, or how you analyze a graph, how you look at the bar chart and see it's a pile of shit.
Yeah, that is statistics, but at the same time, and I do think
That was
statistics.
A-level for me.
Statistics is a really key thing, which should be emphasised a lot more, because the amount of bad statistics that is just everywhere is
Even like bad representation of statistics as well. That's massive.
The representation of data is everywhere. You open the fucking sun, you see a piece of shit graph.
But that's kind of recent.
But once again,
No,
I don't
that's
think.
constant, though.
But I don't
Constant,
think.
but kind of recent in the grand scheme of 50, 60, 70 years ago. It wasn't really that prevalent because it wasn't.
But I think.
Fair, okay, yeah.
But once again, I think that most of this doesn't come down to understanding statistics. It comes down to understanding, once again, it comes down to critical thinking in the sense of, if I open the sun, because of who writes the sun, because of the general opinion that the sun aims to provide, all of that should immediately mean that I approach anything it says with a certain viewpoint of skepticism. And then, if I read the Daily Mail, it's a different viewpoint, usually the opposite side to the sun, but I'm still going to approach it with skepticism for the same reasons. Because the people who
100% agree with you, yeah.
but that's not like a statistics thing, it's not a math thing, it's a critical thinking thing. It's the ability to sit back, take a step backwards and go, what is the actual greater picture of this, and what skills do I need to apply to interpret it?
That's getting towards a very life skills.
But that's what needs to be taught. That's literally what a physics degree is.
To teach.
But
we've come at the same argument from two different sides. You're arguing it from the physics side, and I'm
Well, no,
arguing from the
I don't.
statistics side.
But I don't mean
we
from
both need to approach the same thing of people need to have life skills.
But I don't mean it from the physics side though. Like, one of the biggest complaints in of teachers in physics degrees is that we are having to use physics to teach people how to critically think, which is ridiculous. They should already know how to critically think, and then we can learn the physics. But we're having
at what age of physics are we talking?
So the entirety
GCSE or?
No, the entirety of first year degree is basically redoing A levels, but to teach you how to critically think of pretty much every single STEM degree.
Yeah, and I can say this because, what they do really is just take your A-level knowledge and what you already know, reconsolidate it with a few additional details, using what you learned in A-level maths to go through some new concepts, essentially just applying that knowledge and making you critically think, what can I do with this? And even the projects you do after that as well are just making use of your A-level knowledge and applying it to critically think, is this right? And that's about it. There isn't actually any new content in there. What you're really paying for in that first year is just, okay, I have all these new skills that I've been accredited for by the A-level boards of the UK, and now they're making me do stuff with them. For 9k.
Right, so to speak. Sorry.
Critically thinking everything. I'm not learning anything new on my first year. And I'm
Yeah, you are.
just critically thinking everything.
Double
Right.
D.
So to put that in context, so if you're right, so you're thinking backwards. You've been taught all these aspects, and you get to a point, and now you're in university. Are you then being taught to look back on these and think, yeah, these aren't 100% legit things you've been told?
Yes.
Not quite. It's more,
Not quite, but-
it's more
But
nuanced than
They're
that.
accurate. Yeah, they're accurate as to we know them.
No,
Is that the correct
but
way to describe.
they're not, strictly speaking. That's not what they're trying to get at. It's like, how's it? So okay. So one of the, I'll give an example to demonstrate what it is. So one of the biggest complaints that we
It's
get
playing
is
back.
that if you
It's playing.
Yes.
answer all the questions correctly in the programming.
It's just I've just hit play.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on, Captain.
So if you start, if you answer all the questions of programming, you only get 14 out of 20. You don't get full marks because you've not applied critical thinking. And the way we assess the critical thinking is your ability to extrapolate, interpolate, and basically create new data out of it. Now, that sounds like really technical and all that, but a good example of this is like if I teach you how to, I teach you how one planet orbits around another. It's a very simple way of, a simple thing. If I give you a system with 2 planets in, you can always do it. The critical thinking aspect would be after I've taught you how to do it for 2, I ask you to do it for 3.
Do it for 15, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the critical thinking part. It's the part where you have to step outside of what you know, but you apply something you've been taught to expand it. And that's what people aren't taught in... Well, until you reach degree level, in essence. Like, you might get a little bit at A levels, but...
Can you change the subtitles?
So I'll change the subtitle.
Yeah. So, like, this goes back to the analogy I brought up before of the mathematician's lament, in that, like, imagine if music was taught the same way and we learn maths. It would be like learning all the theory, learning all the sheet notation, learning everything, but never actually hearing a note.
Exactly, yeah. This is... I hate that argument. I despise it. It's...
Yeah.
Oh, no!
What did
What?
he do?
What's he done?
He discovered something bad last time.
He's discovered all these university notes and shit.
What kind of creeper was that?
A doom creeper, or a death creeper, or a one that can get through doors faster than I can creeper. Oh my god.
A black creeper just walked into his house and blew up his home, broke his ribs, and
Fucked his shit up.
and then left the home promptly with the door wide open on the floor.
Right, we're watching Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I've just started streaming. We're in the Smeagol scene, so if anybody fancies watching, check it.
Sorry, Twitch guys, you won't be watching Lord of the Rings.
I could turn microphone off. So it's fine.
Nah, don't worry. Twitch won't hear it anyway. But yeah.
It even blew up this tile here. What the actual fuck?
No, one more shot. I won't get it.
Oh, man. Oh, fuck off. Leave me alone.
Ooh, that's an energy sword. Run away.
Oh, man. Okay. So I need to... I need to put all of this back in chests. God damn it. I'm blaming this on you,
Where are the
creators.
sentry guns? James is asking where are the sentry guns.
You know what, James? Like, I was looking at the sentry guns and I was always looking at them and was like, hey, surely this is an absolute waste of material. No, fuck off.
At least one sentry gun.
But it turns out...
You have a sword. Come on.
Yeah, I'm using a sword now. No. Oh.
But yes, where are your sentry guns?
I actually do have one kicking about somewhere. Ah, there's a chest.
Oh man,
This game is terrible.
that was beautiful. During that entire conversation, we sort of finish it off with a lament, and then suddenly just that happens, and then.
Man.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
It's not beautiful. There's nothing
It's
beautiful
beautiful.
about this.
It's what you get for not building a double airlock.
I just...
Have you learned nothing from Rust?
Don't play Rust.
I know you don't, honey.
Just... my home. My beautiful
Yeah.
home.
You let someone in. They walked into
I
your
didn't
home.
mean to let the creeper in.
You let them in. They followed you in, caressed your bum, blew up the ceiling, and then blew up the floor, and then left as promptly as they did with the door wide open on the floor. And they thanked you for it before you could even say "fuck you."
You oh,
Took a clip.
he took a clip for me. Oh, thank you, James. I'm going to I get to relive it. Ah, I bet it's a beautiful clip as well. Just right. Okay, right. So have I picked up everything? I have picked up everything.
Look, man, it could be worse. It could be. Drop that fucking orbital on Bravo.
And to be fair, it could have happened in here, at which point I would have totally 100% rage quit.
Oh, what? Love you both, but Mive is awesome. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Double D's muted us both.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair.
that's fair.
Well, he's muted himself, I think, and so is Verg.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so where are my... Oh, my tool... Oh, my god.
They're in the chest that you...
Like, yeah, which
They're
chest?
in the chest in the
This
house that blew up.
Right.
Here we go.
They're in the chest that the house blew up. Yeah.
There we are, right, so... Let's build back better.
Make
Build a double airlock. Play it smart.
We'll build everything out of concrete.
Concrete's fucking horrible, mate.
But it doesn't blow up.
What happened, Goldie?
He's muted himself.
Yeah, I know. He...
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
But yeah, no, concrete's fucking horrible. If you want to screw up the batch
Sorry.
It doesn't blow up though.
in the mixer, it can blow up.
So it's more blast resistant than everything else. That one, I'm just thinking of a different one.
But
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's true.
look as nice.
But yeah, if you just put some sugar or some salt water in there, then it's fucked.
My house, it looked pretty. It no longer looks pretty. Alright, let's go.
So pretty and recovering. What a pity. And I say what a pity because I've been
I
trying
think-
to read this one paragraph over and over again, but I got stuck in the conversation about everything.
I think the other really irritating thing about this is that... Oh, it blew up my floor!
Oh, I love this.
My god. This whole thing is irritating. What is this? This is a cobblestone floor. Okay, oh, it's cobblestone floor. That's fine. That makes life a bit easier.
God, I should go to bed.
Yeah, I should have gone to bed
Trading
an
tomorrow.
hour ago. Oh, but I got some
6:30 gym
golden
session.
chest plate out of it.
I don't want to go to it.
6:30 gym session. What sort of madman gets up to go to the gym at 6:30?
A fucking
Only
idiot.
the
That's
man
it.
that has to play for a sports team.
Yeah. Hey, this is not rowing.
At least it's not rowing. No, one of my mates is doing rowing.
That's like a 4 a.m. wake up call, isn't it?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has a 5 a.m.
Ah, Cambridge is 4 a.m., mate.
Well, we're not in Cambridge, so
Ah, you'd be lucky.
I had
Oh,
a
I'm
couple of friends who
team.
did rowing. It was hard by the looks of it.
Yeah. Yeah, Imperial's got a 4 a.m. wake up call too. But those lads are putting out Olympians, so what do you expect?
What's with your sudden funky accent?
I don't know.
I don't know. Bath puts out quite a few Olympic athletes.
I pump the brakes on the accent, but I don't know where it's really coming from at this point. So I give up.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's fucked. Just like the rest of your base, to be honest.
Well, the rest of my base is tolerable.
Don't make me summon a new creeper to come in now.
Stop with the shitty accent.
It's not really a thing I stop at this point. It's not really a thing I want to start. It just happens.
Part of him.
Pretty much. I get tired and
It's
happens.
like a really bad Irish accent.
No, it's a really bad rash.
What do I do with this heart? I don't know. I just...
And you see, if I wanted to do an Irish accent, I would. It'd be a lot better than this if I was doing it on purpose.
Look, okay, I do have a disposable item turret.
Item turret. What, does it just fire?
It's got a poor man's sleeping aid, apparently. Damage output, 1 heart of damage. It shoots 0.8 of a shot per second and uses 2 RF. Okay, so I need... Okay, so to build turrets...
It's a piece of shit.
To build turrets, I need to build these things, which are expensive.
Disposable item turret. It's a piece of shit.
I just... My house. Okay.
Your
Right.
house is fine.
Does this look fine to you?
Yes.
You're wrong. No, what? I thought I heard something then.
Oh look, another creeper.
I legit thought I heard a hissing then. just fucking panicking like mad. Written somewhere in.
You'll get, if your place gets blown up while you're rebuilding it, you're probably going to rage quit.
What am I? What? That for some
Don't know what
reason
you're-
I couldn't walk through a block then that wasn't there, and when I went round it, like depending on how I approach this area, I seem to bump into an invisible, I don't know, invisible block of some kind. Ugh, I can't.
Thank you,
believe it.
Halo Infinite, for giving me the tooltip of being beware of friendly fire when I just got stabbed in the face by a teammate.
What game was it?
I'm playing Halo Infinite, and I just got team killed by an energy sword, and I just got a message saying, beware of friendly fire. Yeah, thanks. That would have been helpful probably 30 seconds ago when I was still alive.
You know, the interesting thing I find about the energy sword, right, is that lore-wise, it's meant to cut for anything.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that it does. Yet, they turn it on, and they put it in the back of a truck for storage. Just as is. With something that has an edge that is effectively monomolecular and could basically slice the electrons of something. But yet they just put it in the back of a truck thinking like, oh, this is fine.
Maybe it's turned off.
No, it's turned on. It's turned on. that's I wouldn't be annoyed about it. I wouldn't be ringing up if it was turned off. But it is turned off. Maybe.
Machinations of the universe.
It's also just a weird design.
Hmm?
It's also just a weird design ergonomically. Because you
Well,
don't.
if you think about it, ergonomically, it's not designed for a human to use. It's designed for
For
a tall alien
Arbiter
warrior to use.
Sangheli, yeah,
Yes,
it's for a
Sangheli.
Sangheli. I've never even played Halo, but I still know this shit.
That's why I like all the comic books, because they don't look like they're designed to be used.
Yes,
Are
and yet
you?
the neither still look like a pistol.
Hmm?
Or a machine pistol. Oh, machine and pistol.
Well, it still has a concept, but like with the whole like ammo at the top, sort of thing, all exposed and everything, it still makes it feel alien enough.
Yeah.
The fact that it's got
The noise the
sinking.
chisel makes it sound like a creeper's near, and it hurts me.
Yeah, well, Mason's a tough life. You gotta live with it.
I don't know, I'm just loving the brute weapons at the moment.
I should really get into the Halo series at one point, because lore-wise it's quite nice.
Lore-wise, it has got one of the most like really expansive universes when you actually have a look at it.
Don't say that to me.
But
Don't say that to me. Not for someone coming from the Warhammer universe.
oh
Don't-
yeah, no,
don't
I
say
get
that.
that. I get that. Compared to Warhammer, it does not have as much lore, but for something that was spawned from a video game, it's got so much.
Yeah, like I accept that, and it seems quite interesting, especially the relationship between John and Cortana. Like, yeah, sure. But since it's been limited to the Xbox platforms for so long, I've just been like, do I really want to get into this kind of series now? Like, really? Is it
To
worth
be
it?
honest, with a lot of the lore, whilst you find out quite a bit in the games, you like if you properly want to know like a lot of the
have to read the
references and
books.
everything, you have to properly like read a lot of the previous books. Like for a lot of Halo 4, you want to have knowledge of at least the whole Forerunner trilogy that came beforehand.
So, I've currently been reading the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. There are currently 4 books. They total up to 1.6 million words. I'm about halfway through.
You should read Raymond E. Feist. It's great.
No. No.
Why?
No.
Don't you want to read 30 books?
I don't. I read fast not as a result of wanting to read fast. I read so fast as a result of I want to find what the fuck is going to happen in the next book.
I know, and it's stressful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's stressful. But yeah, I'm about 800,000 words in, and I've done that in a week. So, with Halo, if I do manage to dig my teeth into anything, then yeah, Halo's probably it. Considering I've already read the lore anyway.
You should read
It's
Faust, according to James. What's Faust? Is he good?
What
What
is
sort of
Faust?
genre? Give me a
What
genre.
is it? Faust is the protagonist of a classic German legend based on historical Johann Georg Faust, which leads him to make a pact with the devil at a crossroads, exchanging his soul for unlimited knowledge and worldly pleasures.
Sounds interesting.
No, it's stuff like lore which really got insight in a video.
So, goes
With
through
enemy
working of the story 200 years later, Faust becomes a dissatisfied intellectual who yearns for more than earthly meat and drink in his life. Oh, so he's me. How long is it?
But he says there's a few good adaptations, so I'm going to hazard a guess you just basically pick a...
Pick one and go with it.
pick a medium and go with it, yeah.
Yeah, I might look at it. Nah, James, I'm the kind of person that really likes his fantasy. Although, I have to say,
I read The Legend of Shannara by Terry Brooks, and it was his first fantasy book, and I fucking hated the first book in the first 2 chapters. I get that it's a very old book, and it was written like 1970s-ish, but God, the first chapter is straight up introduction of titular character. Second chapter, the entire chapter is just a really shittily written exposition. It is horrible and just horribly executed and horribly boring in the first 2 chapters. I just got so turned off. I don't know why, but I have the first book and the second book, but I've never read either of them. And I really don't want to read it. And I don't think I'm going to.
So, not to sort of trying to sound smart about this, but isn't that sort of the whole point of a book? I obviously I've not read the book, but it's
no. But if you're gonna slab up the exposition in such a way that it feels like an essay rather than being like important to the plot as well.
Oh, I see. Right.
And
Yep.
why not just give me a Wikipedia page? I can just go do it in my own time.
So, changing the book genres and stuff slightly, I did that for the Maze Runner because I watched the film Maze Runner and I was like, okay, the fuck's going on here? What is the actual sort of lore behind this? Read the plot synopsis for the following books and was like, okay, this is absolute bollocks. I know not to read these books now.
The Maze Runner books aren't great anyway.
I very rarely do that because I am an avid reader, or I was an avid reader, but that after watching the Maze Runner film, I just couldn't wrap my head around what the hell was meant to be going on.
Yeah. But there's exposition, but then there's just exposition to be pretentious about it. And the exposition he was giving was just a full conversation of all the races in the land, all the history of the land. I don't need to know about the elves right now because you're not even going to be meeting any until the next 5 chapters. I don't need to know about the dwarves. I don't need to know about these evil fuckers because you probably won't meet them until the next 10 chapters anyway. It's not important to the plot right now. You can expose by action or you can expose by dialogue, and they're 2 different things.
See, this is part of the problem I had with getting into Lord of the Rings. I couldn't get into Lord of the Rings because so much time and effort went into describing things, which is great, but describing a really impressive building for a page is pretty good, but describing a really impressive building for several pages is tedious. And it felt like that was the writing style through the entire book. I just couldn't get into it, which is surprising because I do like high fantasy. It's a genre I do enjoy. It was a bit of a surprise, when I just could not get into it.
Yeah. So the thing I like about Brandon Sanderson is that he does amazing world building that feels significant. With the Mistborn trilogy that he wrote, the first book a lot of people don't like at first, but he never really writes anything in books. He writes everything in series. So by the end, when I had finished the 3rd book of the Mistborn series, everything made sense and every single thing tied together. It just all wrapped around, all in one go. It put in the last piece of the puzzle and you're like, that's what it meant in the first book. That's what everything meant, and holy shit, I love the first book now that I see everything. That's the kind of ideal that I look for. You sit in there and you just have that key and you just and I wish I could go back go back to that moment and get like, that was worth it.
One of the series I'm really fallen in love with, I need to get and finish it, in fairness, is by an author called Brent Weeks. So I've read his first series, and his first book was very difficult to read. He was a new writer, you could tell he was a new writer. But as he sort of progressed, his writing got much better, and he started a second series which was based on magic. So I thought I'd try it and see what it was like, and it takes the view that magic is this it's a physical entity sort of thing. So the idea is that it's based around the concept that light is magic, or magic is forms of light. And it's such a cool concept. Like, so it's like he like attributes things to light, and he actually explores like the full spectrum. So it's like when you cast red magic, you are physically making like a red-like substance, a gel-like substance that's red, that it has characteristics, which is like generally the red things are highly flammable, explosive, that sort of stuff. But then it talks about like the emotional side of casting magic, is that the more of a certain colour you cast, the more you start acting like that colour.
Yeah.
So people who cast a lot of red magic generally start to become very angry and volatile people. People who cast a lot of blue magic become very logical and hardened. People who cast green magic become very wild. It's such a different take, especially for a very high magic setting. Maybe it's not fully high magic. Maybe high magic is giving it a bit too much credit, but certainly for the setting it's in, it's really interesting. It's really good, especially when it starts talking about like, because you've got your usual ones, you're basically your colours of the rainbow, la di da di da. But then you've got things like people who can see ultraviolet and people who can see into the X-rays, and whenever they cast that sort of magic, they get cancer. Like. And it legit talks about this, and there are people who can see down into the radio waves, but they tend to go blind. Like it's really if you go blind, you can't cast magic anymore because you need to see the color to do it. It's such an interesting concept. Like the ways you combat people who are magicians is by wearing shiny armor because it deflects the light. If you want to combat a blue magician, you put him in a red room because there's no blue light for him to use. Like
I just shoot him in the eyes.
Well, but like the idea is that because combating like the magic is generally because it's difficult. But the other interesting thing is that if you put a magician in a purely white light room, they still wouldn't be able to cast the magic because they aren't able to split the light into its constituent colours. They can only use a colour that already exists. If that makes sense. There's only
That's
one.
Not how it works, but yeah.
Well, no, but the idea is that there's only one person who can split the light into its constituent colours, and he's called the prism. And so the idea is that you need a source of colour, be it through absorption or through emission.
Refraction.
It doesn't matter which one it's through, but you have to have a way of generating the colour outside of white light. It's such a really interesting take on magic that I've never seen anywhere else. For all I know, he's ripped it off of someone. I don't know, but I have never seen it.
It sounds quite unique, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a cool setup. But yes, I'd highly recommend it if for people who are sort of interested in that sort of thing. It can be interesting, and I don't mean interesting in oh, it's a great book, it's interesting. I mean, sometimes you may question a few things that happen, or maybe not quite understand, but give it a shot. It's actually quite good. I think the books get better the more books that he writes. So.
Yeah. See, the thing I found quite interesting also, especially, it's actually two authors that have been doing this recently, or one's been doing it recently, or one's been doing it for a while. So, the first one is Brandon Sanderson, and the second one is Leigh Bardugo. And, they set up the world building with magic, whatever, what have you. But they'll have multiple perspectives going on all the time. So Brandon doesn't really have main characters in his stories. He just has multiple characters going at the same time, and they all link into each other at one point. And that's sort of what he uses as his plot points to tie the world together. And that's the best part about it, I think. And, some of the characters won't really interact with what you'd think are the key characteristics of the world at all. That's never been, the key point of the story. Really, the whole thing about the story is, you'll sit in on an individual and see how they develop and progress. In this case, you're seeing how they interact with the world, multiple, and seeing how they also interact with each other and have knock-on effects on each other, even if they're really indirect, to be honest.
Okay.
With Leigh's take, she doesn't bounce around perspectives that much, not really. She focuses on one titular character who is basically purely human, and seeing how they bounce around it in ways that you wouldn't really expect. So in the same way I just said, just shoot them in the fucking eyes. Or flashbang them.
But yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
there
I'll
are
look
some.
into Lightbringer though.
Lightbringer series is a very good series. I need to take a look at Mistborn and stuff like that. But the other series I rave about, mostly because of the way it's been written. It's almost like Game of Thrones if it had been written sensibly, which is to say, a long book series. Is Magician.
George R. R. Martin didn't just give up.
Yeah. Is Magician by Raymond D. Feist. So the first book is. Okay, so I'll set the scene. The first book is, in essence, medieval Europe fights medieval, or equivalent therein, Japanese.
Oh, I don't like it already, but go on.
But it's not that at all. But that's the feeling you get. So in essence, the idea is that you have this world. And it contains a society that is very reminiscent of European medieval culture, and then suddenly they start being invaded from nowhere, and they can't quite work out where they're being invaded from, but they suddenly start coming under attack. Time passes, they find they're being attacked by a group of people who want their metal. And the reason they want their metal is they come from a world where metals are extremely rare, or easy to get metals. And so their entire warrior caste is basically built upon using laminated woods to get to woods that are as hard as metals. But when they start fighting against, the European style with their metal equipment, they have to change their fighting style to stop them from chipping the laminate, which can shatter their blades.
Yeah.
So it goes into all this detail, but the whole this is it turns out that this thing, it's all fucking backstory. The actual story is about effectively the creation of a magician during this time period, and then a load of stuff happens. The end of the book happens, and you sit there and go, that was a very good standalone book. You could stop there at the first book and you would feel satisfied. But then There
But,
are.
yeah.
So he's then written a 3-book series that sits. So the problem is the chronological order gets a bit funny. But he's written a 3-book series where the first book and a half, 2 books, follow that very same war, but from the perspective of the other side. Which is really cool. And then, the series follows a bunch of what you think are going to be the protagonists for his entire line of books. And you get this sort of 3-book series come in, and then when you start reading the 4th book, there's been a time jump of like 50 years, and you have a bunch of brand new protagonists who interact with the older protagonists, but they are very much secondary characters now. And but he builds the world. So like you start off in what would be like this medieval Europe area of the world. You then do a bit of exploring and find that, okay, there are multiple worlds that are connected by magic. You do a bit more exploring, you find there are continents that are very much nowhere near where this medieval Europe area is, and is more reminiscent of what would be like a Persian Empire style.
Yeah.
And then, you read 10 books down the line and find out actually there's more worlds out there. But like, the nice thing about the whole situation is all of the books just they tie into each other so nicely.
Yeah.
Because rather than writing a 30-book series, like I think, R.R. Martin's trying to do, he wrote many 3 and 4-book series that fit into the greater story. Which means you can just pick up one of these series, read it, and put it down again, and you would be completely satisfied with what happened. You could stop there and you would never worry about it again. And that is such a nice way of writing a very long story. And I think it's something a lot of authors don't do. Or at least I've not found it common for many authors. Is this sort of...
I really recommend the Mistborn series then.
Yeah, I should give it a shot. I should.
The original Mistborn trilogy sort of ties it up quite well, but then they also the next 3 books after it also have like a massive time jump of not like 50 years. No, it's straight up. It's so old they are dead. They're straight up dead, but they've had such a massive impact. But I haven't even gone that far. I haven't gone back to Mistborn, but I should. Because I think at the time when I had read the full trilogy, they weren't even out yet. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. They were released in 2011.
It's funny you say that, because when I started reading the Raymond Defy series, he hadn't finished it yet. And he actually wrote the last book in the series a couple of years ago. And that was a really satisfying read as well. But the last book is set 1,000 years after the first one. But you've progressed through 30 books of time jumps, so it doesn't feel like if you read the first book then the last book, it would feel really stark. But because you've gradually moved your way through, it's like, oh yeah, this is a logical time jump. Of course it is. Yeah, definitely.
People, I'm going to head off after talking about this one, but the last book recommendation I've got, and I've been meaning to jump into, is Gideon the Ninth, which has been making the rounds across the book communities, because it's the horror genre, but it's horror with the humour that you'd expect nowadays. So, like, your main characters are absolutely horrible people. They'll completely genocide entire planets if they need to, or even if they don't want to, or even if they do want to. It's just up to them on their whims. But then you'll just have some completely savage humour on the side that just knocks it and completely desensitizes you, and just like, yeah, these are fucking horrible people, but goddamn, they're fucking funny.
Oh god.
And I'm just like, I do need to read these books, I think. I really do. Yeah, I think it would be remiss if I didn't. Yeah, James, just for Christmas presents ideas, just buy Gideon the Ninth, because it seems like a good show.
Depends on who you're buying it for. Maybe not for, you know, your 6-year-old niece.
I mean, they wrote Coraline for 6-year-olds.
To be fair, Charlotte's Web is also pretty. And let's not forget Warship Down.
Nah, I think Coraline still takes the cake.
Like, whoever thought Warship Down was a good thing to be showing kids? Good lord. Let's get a film about rabbits. Yeah, let's have them move home. Yeah, let's kill all the rabbits viciously on screen. Wait, what?
Yeah. See, I think I think you can teach kids something about animal deaths back then. But then you have Coraline, which is just... The movie is slightly toned down. Only slightly.
Coraline, is that the one where there's the button?
One with the buttons.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So the funny thing about this, and the author himself, Neil Gaiman, says this as well, in that, you know, I gave this to my agent, and my agent said, this is completely horrifying, you can't give this to kids. And then Neil just says to her, okay, give this to your daughter, see how she finds it. And if she finds it scary, then I won't publish it. Daughter reads it, gives it back to her mum a week later and says it's fine. You know, and then okay, goes ahead with the publish, goes ahead with everything. And then about a month later, Neil is sitting next to said daughter and tells her, you know, it's because of you that this book got published, and I'm glad you didn't find it scary. And she just says to him, no, I found it horrifying, but I wanted to find out what happened next, so I kept reading. So I told her I lied, and I just said, yeah, it wasn't scary. I don't know how to feel about that anymore.
Wow.
It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, in the book, it's just a little girl trying to basically defeat an eldritch horror on her own.
Right, well, I think if I am going to get up tomorrow to do my demonstrating, I say if, I get paid to do this, I am getting up tomorrow to do my demonstrating.
Yes, you are. You are getting it.
If I want to do it without feeling like death, I should probably think about heading off to bed.
Oh, Arrow just joined the server.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
It's Arrow from Planetside 2 News.
Watch as Arrow immediately leaves the server again.
Warp has already said it.
Oh my god. The poor man, he will never ever escape this.
Oh, man. Okay, right, I'm not even going to look at general chat, that's already given me a headache from looking at that. Right, good night then. I will head off because I should probably be resting my poor intestines.
Your poor... Oh yes, yeah, don't shoot yourself to death.
No, it's not happened yet. Probably not happened for a while. Oh well, night-night.
Nighty-night. Doobie-doop-doo. Righty, chaps, I think I'm going to be off as well. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you, Japes. And I can't remember who the other chat was. I don't know if he's still around. Elements of Love, that was it. Yes.
Speak to your stream. Go for a piss, bareback.